Well, I mean, that's my nomination.
No, I think it's Mark and I were just talking. We think it's good. Simple yes or no. Do you like it?
Do you like it, or do you think it's too punitive?
Morning, Stumpy.
Sure is. Thought they got the call right, though.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, at the time, all I cared about. I can't change the rule. Baby Jules, it's never too early to be snarky. Let's get that straight right now.
How's McBain?
Oh, hasn't even responded. I think he's so inconsolable and angry. He did text me when they called the pass interference on the third down at midfield. And I know the ball was still in his hand, but he had already started his throwing motion. I didn't necessarily have a problem with that. I know technically it wasn't the right call. He sent me just a expletive-laced couple texts, but they got the ball right back, so no, a little less on the line this wide right, but yeah. Florida State's like, yeah, we know about wide right. Hell, we even threw in a wide left.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on the Monday after the divisional playoffs. Hope you had a good weekend. Probably depended on how your team did. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I am good. Ready to thaw out. Ready for this week. I'm excited for the temperatures to come back in Florida to return to its normal self.
For Florida to be Florida?
Florida, yeah.
Right. This whole being a part of the Continental 48 is overrated. We like doing our own thing. You know, Florida does its own thing. Texas does its own thing. You know, the other 46, they try to make nice. You know, not us. No, we're going to Florida. Not last week, man. It was chilly throughout much of the state. Hell, in some parts of the state, it was downright cold.
It certainly was. There's no doubt. But we got 3 terrific football games and one that was at least a game for a while. And you loved this weekend, David, and it delivered.
My favorite football weekend of the year, because it's like when you get out of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. When you get out of the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, you actually start to think, you know, we can do this. And to me, that's getting out of the wild card round. When you get out of the wild card round, you get to the division round. You know, even if you're a Houston Texans fan, you return that punt, you tie it at 10 late in the first half. Baltimore can't even get a first down. You go into the locker room and you're thinking, we are doing this. Yeah, we are doing this. You know, you're a Packers fan. And for most of Saturday night, you're like, damn right, it's our turn. We're going to give you the crushing loss. All right. And then we're just on a roll. Hell, we're going to Detroit. We've beaten Detroit there already. We're just going to – this is how we won our Super Bowl. We were the last seed in. We had a bunch of injuries. We had a young quarterback who didn't know any better. We're going to do it again. That's the hope. That's the hope. You know, the Bills yesterday, Mark, the first hour of the game, they were running the ball right down the Chiefs' throat.
Yes, they were.
Didn't it look like the Buffalo-Dallas game from a month ago when Buffalo just lined up and said, hey, we're going to run it. You can't stop it. I'm like, this is interesting. And then that changed.
It certainly did. And even Tampa, they torch, what was it, Sutton for the 47th time as Evans scores to make it 31-23. And you're like, all right, we got a shot at this thing. They get the ball back. You don't know.
Oh, yeah, going to the fourth quarter, 17 all.
Right.
Lions ball. The Bucs are standing there, hands on the hips. Let's see what you got, Motown. Motown said, oh, okay. We got more in our holster than you got in yours. Just so you know. But, yeah, really good Sunday of football. And a good Saturday night. We had drama, Mark. Can't ask for much more than drama.
No, we had some of our favorite plays. Balls fumbled through the end zone to get you all fired up, David.
All right. So when it happened, for the first time in a long time, I just accepted my fate. I didn't get all bent out of shape. I just said, listen, there's nothing you can do about it. It's a stupid rule. Okay, you know it's stupid. You'll take this on one person at a time. You're trying to convince America one person at a time. But you're right. All right. In our Twitch chat room, a gentleman wants to know what was more frustrating for me, the Bucs when they went for 2 down 8 or the touchback through the end zone. And I got to be honest, I reacted much more hostile towards the going for 2 down 8.
Did you feel like Collinsworth at that moment was talking directly to you?
Yes.
Like, were you talking? I should say it this way: were you answering back to him when he was talking? Were you having a conversation with Chris Collinsworth about the mathematics of the whole thing?
Out loud, I was saying, Chris, you talk too much, but I agree with what you're saying this time. Golly. Analytics. Oh, for goodness sake. Kick the damn extra point. All right.
Well, as someone who had the Bucs plus 6.5, I really wanted that 2-point conversion to be converted.
Now, I did think of that also. All right. I said, well, you know, this is a really funny moment here because the line's either 6 or 6.5, depending on when you got it. I go, and for all the people that got it at 6.5, they're going, way to go, Todd Bowles. Embrace your analytics. That's right.
Damn right.
Defensive-minded coach, my butt. You are up with the times, my friend.
I think his analytics guy who was in his ear who told him to go for it, he probably had the Bucs at 6.5.
He
Joking,
was
of
instant
course.
on it, by the way. Bowles was the first shot they showed him. He had 2 fingers up. That and they got a little. They got more confused than he did. He was right on that.
And it certainly could have been a flag too.
It certainly
pass
was a
interference.
flag. It certainly was pass interference.
Yeah.
But they just decided in that particular moment they weren't going to call it.
Yeah, there were a few of those decisions that were made throughout the course of the weekend. But come on now. We told you heading into the playoffs, they're going to throw a lot less flags. You're going to have to put up with more stuff. You think there was holding during the regular season? There'll be mugging during the postseason. Mugging during the postseason. It just comes with the territory. Do you think the Bills are tired of playing the Chiefs? Because they're in this Patriots-Colts Manning Brady rut where they're both winning their division, so they're seeing each other during every regular season also. So, and the same thing happened with the Colts and the Patriots for a while. Peyton could win in the regular season, Tom would win in the postseason. Took a little while for Peyton to actually start returning the favor. And he actually returned the favor quite a few times in the postseason, but all anybody remembers is the beginning of the rivalry.
David, I think the Bills might want to take red out of their uniforms. They're so sick of the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Nance and Romo were horrendous, but Nance nailed that field goal. Okay. Wide right. The two most damning words in Buffalo. Oh, that was a good call. That was a good call. And he didn't even get the script that one. He had to do that one on his own. It was really good. Romo married off, Taylor and Travis again. I mean, does anybody think that he's just genuinely getting this wrong? Or come on, this is intentional. I don't know if I can do the Super Bowl. I may have to mute the Super Bowl. Okay. I was rooting for the Bills just because I have, a few friends that are Bills fans and let them win. I thought, by the way, with all the walking wounded, I go, Baltimore's going to beat you by 30 next week, but that's all right. At least you get by the Chiefs. You can get that, but I don't know if I can. I kept the volume on for the whole game, and by the end of the game, I was worn out. I really was. I was absolutely worn out. I don't know if I can do the Super Bowl. I may have to mute the Super Bowl. I may have to close caption the Super Bowl. In fact, I don't even know if I want that. I may just do it in silence. I'll turn the volume on at halftime.
It's that bad to you.
It really is. I can't do it. I can't do it.
And I guess, David, because I have the ability with people to just tune them out, that I can have the volume on and not listen. It's kind of like towards the end of my first marriage. I just didn't listen anymore.
Well, congratulations. All right. Maybe during the commercial breaks, you can teach it to me because you know me, when I make eye contact, I'm paying attention.
I know.
All right. And maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to not watch the game. Then this way I won't hear it. But I sat down and watched 2 complete broadcasts yesterday. I never do that. I never have the time to do that. And I have to admit, I love close football games. I love the chess match. I love everything about it. I love in the postseason, first downs are significant. They don't feel significant during the regular season.
Well, I mean, even in that Chiefs-Bills game, they score on 9 of their first 11 drives are scoring drives.
Right.
Then what happens? Then all of a sudden they can't move the ball. Then first downs become a big deal.
Right. And then you can see it, is the play caller getting tight? Is the quarterback getting tight? Are the players getting tight? But it was fun. It was fun. I got to admit, how many of you who listen to this show, whether it's because of our new young producer, Trent, the Lions season ticket holder, okay, because Mark doesn't have the Lions gene, okay? He's from Michigan, but he doesn't have the Lions gene. Now, I know between the Lions and the Bucs, okay, you were probably 60-40 Lions.
Oh, no. I was 100-0 Lions.
Okay.
I mean, I like the Lions. I thought of my dad a lot. Now with Trent here, Trent's making me root harder for the Lions than I ever have before. But I've got a lot of friends who are diehard Lion fans. So for them, like I was rooting for the Lions yesterday. There's no doubt. But if they lose, I don't have the pain and agony that the Lions fan has. I don't have that. I've watched too much of it.
I found myself really rooting for the Lions also, despite how much I love Baker. I love the fact that Baker was out there balling yesterday. What do you think? Take him as your quarterback? He ain't
Damn
perfect.
right.
He ain't perfect, but come on now. If you don't have one of those top 5, 6 guys, tell me you wouldn't take Baker. Tell me you can't live with the outcome if Baker's your guy.
Oh, David, I could have multiple poll questions today here on the Florida Sports Network. You could have a Baker poll question. There are plenty things that we could get to as far as poll questions today in and around the Tampa Bay Bucs.
And is everybody coming around to me with Mike Evans? Huh? Okay.
That drive at the end of the first half was unbelievable. Just 1 minute. Let's go to 13.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yes. Uh-huh. It's not a bad strategy. Even
Sutton had
Collinsworth.
nothing for him.
No. That's a Hall of Famer. And that's a free agent. Miller and Moulton.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Oh, you mean Hutchinson with the mouthpiece in his helmet? My wife thought he had a hearing problem.
Oh, yeah, Brian Branch. It must be a superstition of his because he does it every game. I don't know if he did it at Bama or not.
What's that?
He has the green mouthpiece and is stuck in the hole.
Well, also Hutchinson post-game had the mouthpiece tucked behind his ear. My wife thought he had a hearing problem. Thought that was a hearing device. I'm like, no, it's his mouthpiece.
That's weird.
How about him I thought that was a great scene, him just standing there taking it all in.
He played really well, too. I mean, he gets a lot of pressure for a guy that doesn't necessarily have a lot of help on that line. His motor is just unbelievable.
David, 2 texts last night when the ball was fumbled through the end zone.
I thought of David right away, like the instant it happened.
Who text?
I don't know, just 2 listeners.
People text the text line on a week.
David.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
David, it's 9:06 on a Sunday. There's that call rule you like so much. Moulton is losing his mind right now with 3 laughing emojis. I don't know who they are.
Feeney analytics say it's the percentage play. You have 2 chances to get the 2-point conversion right. If you get it right the first time, you don't need it the second. You can win the game. The analytics have concluded you have a 53% chance of winning the game if you go for the 2-point conversion twice than if you just kick the extra point the first time and hold off till the second. My thought is this, for what it's worth, you kick the extra point when Detroit didn't get the first down, right? There's more pressure on the Lions defense because you can actually lose.
Totally.
When you walk on the field up 8, well, no matter what happens, you can't lose.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
100%. Keep the pressure on them.
The other thing is that how many best 2-point plays do you have? In theory, you have one.
Yeah.
So I'd save it to win or lose the game.
Do you think if that 2-point try that they did was for the win, like if they had held on and then that was do you think they would have thrown a flag?
No. No, I don't think the official has the stones to throw the flag in the closing seconds.
By the way, Detroit Paula, good morning. I've been waiting for you to comment. Cheers.
Everything from Detroit Paula today is going to be capital letters and exclamation points.
And that's all right.
And champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
15-game losing streak against San Fran in the postseason. Something like that. It's unbelievable.
Probably never beaten them. I mean, since the,
probably the
50s.
Well, it goes back to Eddie Murray missing the kick with Danielson.
Yep. Steady Eddie Murray.
Eddie Money Murray. No.
Yeah.
That's what they called him. Eddie Money Murray, and he missed it.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys that the playoff game, I got a picture with Jason Hansen. He was just walking around. I was like, can I get a picture with you, sir? Can I kiss your right leg? We didn't win many games when I was growing up, but when we did, usually you were a big part of them.
I'm sure he appreciated being recognized. You know, the funny thing is they asked Taylor Swift to perform at this year's Super Bowl, and she turned it down.
Here we go.
Not really. Go Raiders.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for waking up with us, Miller and Moulton. Here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. JP Peterson, we look back at the Bucs' effort and season. We'll do that in the 8 o'clock hour. There's a story that emerged right as we headed into the weekend. Gators being investigated by the NCAA. We'll talk about it briefly with Matt Baker a couple hours from now.
All for a player they didn't get.
Right. NCAA pretending as if they're actually doing something. And they're picking on the Florida schools to show that they really are still in business. First the Noles, and now the Gators.
Canes, you're next.
Well, and they're like, hell, we've been at the head of the line for years. About time they're visiting somebody else in this year's state. All right, make fun of me. Go ahead. Fumble through the end zone.
No, David, I'm not even making fun of you. The text line at 21,000. I'm looking 9 hours ago, David, we got a couple of texts. It's 9:06 on Sunday. There's that call that you like so much, David. Moulton is losing his mind right now with 3 laughing emojis all at the same time.
I didn't lose my mind this time. I just accepted it. It's not like they're going to change the rule in the fourth quarter of a divisional game.
They got the call right.
No, which is all I cared about. You know us, Mark.
Yes.
We want them to get it right. We'll argue the rule in the offseason. Was it a fumble or not? It was. Close, but it was. Good for them for overturning it, because that was the game.
And David, for your chess match, it kept the game really interesting.
Totally.
It put the pressure back on the
Both
Chiefs.
sides.
It was
Yep.
interesting, yeah.
Very much so. Because also, Kansas City hadn't been stopped in 2 hours. But after that fumble, Kansas City got stopped a couple times. So the pressure was building. Very quickly, hate the rule, and nobody sticks up for defense more than me. Hate the rule. All right. If I don't understand why they lose possession. That's my thing. To me, that's not an egregious enough happenstance to lose possession of the ball. And my solution is very simple. It would be loss of down. You move the ball back to the line of scrimmage. So in that case, it would have been 2nd and goal from the 3. That's what I would do with it. By the way, if it's a 75-yard pass play and the guy's stretching out for the goal line and they knock the ball away and it goes through the end zone, then you move it all the way back 75 yards. It's lost of down. I mean, so in that case, you go, oh, that's only a 2-yard. Well, in that particular instance. But my rule would be, it'd be like intentional grounding. It's loss of down. Down in distance. That's how I would treat it.
Re-tee and hit 3. It's like out of bounds.
Totally.
To you.
Yes, to me. That would be my changing of the rule. For those that you go, wow, what would you do? Well, that's what I would do.
And by the way, in my head, it's exactly how I asked you the question.
Just like that.
What would you do? I mean, exactly. So I'm glad you depicted my voice properly, and I didn't even have to ask you the question.
Thank you.
But I think it should be our poll question today.
Okay, great.
Just very simply, do you like the rule? Yes or no?
Okay. All right. I think it's too punitive. I think it's way too punitive. I think it's stunningly too punitive. I mean, defense doesn't even have to touch the damn ball, for goodness sakes, and they get it. Seems preposterous to me. But apparently the end zone is, bright lights, the heavens part.
It.
Okay. I mean, honestly, this rule to me is like one league having the DH and the other not for 50 years. Seriously, that's how stupid I think this rule is.
And it's been happening oddly a lot lately.
It happens more than you notice. I mean, because if you start the red zone or has the one thing, the red zone, a lot of things, but it has brought the attention to that play. Because if it happens in any game now, you see it. And I've never had a problem with the rule.
I mean, for you to fumble it to cross the goal line and then go out of bounds, not just stay in bounds and someone jumps on it or something like it. It's happened a lot. It's weird.
But it's the rule, and they got the call right. And at that moment in time, believe it or not, that's all I cared about. I'm like, well, just get this right, man. This is
not that it's a big deal.
No, there's nothing riding on this or anything. Just a berth in the AFC Championship game, potentially. So I really hope we get it right. But, okay, you word it however you're going to word it. I'm pretty sure I'm a no.
I'm pretty sure you are as well.
Right. You want to put my name in parenthesis. You want to have a make fun of me voice, okay, in parenthesis as well. Whatever you have to do, fine. I own it. Yes, it's stupid. I know it's the rule. Doesn't mean the rule's not stupid. Don't tell me, well, it's how we've always done it. Yeah, there's a lot of things we've always done too, and they were stupid.
You and I think Rich Eisen's another one that is just on your side completely here, because there are not that many that are that vociferous about this rule being changed. But those that are you have a couple people. You and I, David, are on the college football games last too long.
Right. We were the only ones, and then Chris Fowler joined us, but there was the three of us for 10 years.
Three of us
Right.
and Michael Felder used to come on our show, lives in the Chicago area, I believe. That he was
Yep.
another one. That there was literally 4 in the country that said college football games are too long.
Right. Everybody else was like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are no fun. No, we're actually paying it. No, we want to have fun. Okay. In fact, it's Saturday night. It's make it happen night. No. We want to go have fun. These games are taking entirely too long. The other thing I did think about, though, I thought about Belichick's rule. He does not let any of his players extend the ball to the goal line. Okay. And it was Hardman, right? And
Yeah.
Hardman got in trouble when he tried to extend the ball. Just hold on to the damn ball. Go down at the half-yard line. It's okay. But so, all right, that'll be the poll question. Basically, do you agree with the, fumble out of the end zone is a touchback rule? Yes or no?
That's it.
Okay. So we're not even offering a solution. It's just like, do you like the rule?
Well, we can put your solution in there.
No. I don't want to. I want it to be yes or no. I truly just want to gauge, do people like the rule? Do they think the rule is fair, equitable? Yes, that's what the punishment should be. Because that would surprise me. I mean, it's a pretty big penalty. As in, there's not a bigger one in the rule book. It's possession of the ball. And I don't understand how the defense cannot touch the ball and get possession of it. But, I'm not Bill Polian or Rich McKay. So I don't make up these stupid rules. And I don't make sure that they stay in the rule book for 20 years longer than they should. I had to make sure I got that out.
And you did.
Thank
Good job. Do you feel better?
No, because it's still on the damn rule book, and we're probably going to have one in the conference championship Sunday. No.
I think this will be it for the postseason.
I hope so.
Well, David, if you want the rule changed, which obviously you do, this was probably the best thing that could have happened. It happened in a big spot in a big game with
no, because the Chiefs didn't lose. Okay, no. In order for it to happen, is somebody's got to lose because of it. All right, they won in spite of it. People are going to go, "What's the problem? They won the game."
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District. Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So last night, or it was more of this morning, to kind of wind down before I went to bed and took my little nap before coming here, I watched have you seen the Four Falls of Buffalo, the 30 for 30
No.
about their
Yeah.
4 straight Super Bowls?
Yes.
It is very well done.
Really good.
Yes. And last night, I couldn't help myself.
I will say, the Bills, if they had managed to get out of there with a W, they were going to stagger into Baltimore. Baltimore was just going to run the ball right down their throat. Baltimore put 38 points up on that defense.
Yeah, their only shot would have been a shootout.
Yeah.
Or an injury, which
I mean, the pressure that was on Josh Allen yesterday, it reminded me a lot of Peyton with the Colts, where Peyton had not only had to score, but he had to score slowly to protect his defense. No, seriously.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, Josh Allen, I mean, they were going the way they were going to protect their defense also.
Well, and I mean
7-8 minute drives constantly.
And if they were to win that game, win the AFC Championship game, win the Super, I mean, that would have been how many wins in a row for them? I don't want to say like lost.
They were 6-6, so it would have been 9.
Yeah, and I don't want to say they were due for a loss, but it's just like that, especially a team like that with a quarterback that's so up and down. They weren't winning 9 in a row. I'll tell you what, the Lions are officially in this is all gravy territory for sure, because now I think they opened as touchdown underdogs next Sunday.
Mhm.
I mean, if they weren't playing the Bucs, a team that they were definitely better than, they would have been in gravy territory this weekend. But because just to get a second home playoff game was a huge deal and everything. But the fact that the Bucs upset the Eagles and the Packers upset the Cowboys kind of reset the field.
I'll tell you what, I thought the Bucs looked really good on offense.
They did.
They did. Did the Bucs have a single pre-snap penalty in the game?
No, it was a very clean game, relatively.
But I'm just saying that, if you're well coached and if your team's disciplined, the crowd noise means nothing. Yep. Also, Canales got those. Mike McDaniel, were you watching? Did you see how quickly Canales got the plays into Baker? Baker was able to get the play before the crowd started to make noise. He got the play to Baker that quickly.
That was a huge thing because Stafford and McVay had to burn 2 timeouts in the second half last week because of that.
I was very impressed with the Bucs coaches.
Me too. I did know. I'm glad you brought that up, David, because I did notice that like halfway through the third quarter. I was like, they're not even sweating the play clock out at all.
Not at all. They were fine.
They were getting the snap off with 4 seconds.
Baker was fine. And that place was crazy loud. I mean, Mark, I don't know about you. There were times I had trouble hearing Tirico. I couldn't hear Melissa Stark. I couldn't hear half her reports.
And yes, Paula, we will improve the secondary in the offseason for sure. They tried to do it this year. Emmanuel Mosley got hurt.
No, Houston never got in the red zone.
Masterclass second half by Lamar. Okay, here we go.
He's pretty good.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks for starting the week off with us, Miller and Moulton, here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Is that poll question up?
It is.
All right. How'd you type it?
Do you like the rule that a fumble through the end zone is a touchback and the defense gets possession?
All right.
I think that's adequate.
Yeah. No. That's, the only problem is that the choices are yes or no. There's not a hell no. There's no, those marks that make it sound like you're screaming or cursing. That's all. That I was just hoping for one of those choices. But all right, I'll go with it. Hell, I'm retweeting it right away. I might have retweeted it before you. I mean, that's how much I hate this. No, hell no.
What do you think the split will be on this? Because I know the majority will be with no, but
No. You're totally 70-30. They're in favor of it. No. People love the rules. Oh, no, it's the rule. Play by the rule. No. The rule's stupid. It doesn't matter. It's the rule. Everybody knows what the rule is. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please. Got to sign your scorecard in the designated signing scorecard area. Why? It's a rule. Who cares if you sign your scorecard 3 hours later at the bar? No, gotta do it in the tent and the white dotted area after it. Why? It's a rule.
Without rules, what do we have, David? Anarchy.
Right.
Mayhem.
Right.
I guess I'm just trying to give David credit because if people are listening to the show, he's presenting a very, very reasonable case for the rule.
No. They're just aware of my stance and they're laughing at me. No. Please, all these texts that came in at 9:06 last night, they were all not, I agree with David. They're like, Moulton's blowing a gasket over this. Moron. There it is, David, just for you, just to torture you.
I give David a lot of credit in this regard, is that he doesn't just say, I hate the rule. That's what most people do. I hate the rule. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Right. Change it.
Don't tell me there's a problem and then not give me a solution.
And David has an actual solution. And I've been actually a little confused because people in the Twitch chat room, well, what happens on this down? What he said, what happens? It's a loss and down and the ball goes back to the line of scrimmage. So if it's fourth down, the ball goes back to the line of scrimmage and the ball is turned over. It's really simple.
Now, in this particular instance, it was 1st and goal at the 3, so it only would have moved back to 2.5 yards. But, I mean, we've seen it where it's a long pass play and the guy stretches out and loses it. Well, you'd lose the whole pass play. I don't know I'm willing to make it punitive. I'm just not willing to go so far as they lose possession. I just think that's like, wait a minute, have we lost our minds? And I am Mr. Defense.
You are. And I'm a yes with defense in parentheses, clap, clap, defense.
So did you do the chant at games? Defense. Okay, all right. 19 minutes before the hour. Time for
the starting five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
It feels like an NCAA tournament bracket, doesn't it? 2 1s, 2 3s. That's what we're left with the NFL's version of the Final Four. The 1s both won on Saturday, so the 3s took care of business on Sunday. First up, the Lions at home. 3-3, 10-10, 17-17. And then finally, Detroit said, we got this. Back-to-back scoring drives. Jared Goff was really good. Jahmyr Gibbs was really good. Baker Mayfield was really good. But 4 sacks and 2 interceptions. One early wasn't his fault. One late that was. That sealed the deal. So despite 349 yards passing for Baker and 3 touchdowns, it's the Lions who booked their ticket in the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. 31-23. That's a win and a cover. Detroit is a 7-point underdog at San Francisco. That seems a little high to me. Just a smidge. I was thinking it was going to be 5.5, 6. Don't know about you, Mark.
And I thought it was going to be 7.5, 8.
Okay.
I'll be curious where this line goes, David. I really will, because San Francisco clearly has been the class of the NFC all year long, and Detroit's defense is suspect. So I'll be curious if this line moves much.
I think the Deebo Samuel injury and his status could be very big in this game since we saw how well the Lions fared against an elite wide receiver and Mike Evans and Tampa. Then the nightcap. The Bills finally get the Chiefs in Buffalo. Same result. Comes down to the final moments. Tyler Bass misses a 44-yard field goal with under 2 minutes to play. Wide right again. Chiefs 27, Bills 24. Mahomes and Kelsey combined for 2 touchdowns. A very clean game for Patrick Mahomes. So Detroit goes to San Fran, and KC goes to Baltimore. First time the city of Baltimore is hosting the AFC Championship game in 53 years. You have to go back to when they were the Colts, and Johnny Unitas led the Colts over George Blanda and the Oakland Raiders on their way to winning Super Bowl V. Care to guess the line of Kansas City, Baltimore? Or have you seen it already?
I've not. I would say Baltimore is a 4-point favorite.
2.5.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm with you. I thought it would be at least the proverbial field goal. I thought it would be 3.5. So Baltimore, a 2.5-point favorite with an over-under of 48. San Francisco, a 7-point favorite with an over-under of 51. So 29-22 in the NFC title game. And what are we looking at here? Like 25, 23, 26, 23, something like that for the AFC Championship game is where the betting line is at this moment. The AFC game goes first next week. So Ravens, Chiefs, 3 o'clock, and then Lions, Niners, 6:30. Now, it just happened to work out that way. CBS and Fox alternate every year who gets the Sunday 6:30 slot. So it just happened to be a year that it was Fox's turn. But obviously it works out better. You got an East Coast game and a West Coast game. It's kind of nice that, one game's a 3 o'clock local kickoff and the other's a 3:30 local kickoff. That makes sense. Quickly, in the NBA, the Heat shot 38%, lost in Orlando by 18, 105-87. Heat only a game better than the Magic right now, 43 games into the season. Lakers got to 500 with a resounding win over Portland. Clippers, Nuggets, Celtics, Suns, all winners. College hoops, FAU needed overtime on the road to get by Texas San Antonio 112-103. Good win for Sparty. Don't know if you guys noticed. It was before the Lions game. But Michigan State went into Maryland. Maryland had only lost 2 home games in over 2 years. Michigan State beat them 61-59. And give it up to South Florida. Bulls are 11-5. They beat Wichita State 72-68. Women's basketball, don't know how many people watched. It was nationally televised. Caitlin Clark scored 45 points, but Iowa blew a 7-point fourth quarter lead, lost in overtime to Ohio State, 100-92. And then Caitlin Clark got injured trying to leave the floor. Excuse me. So it was a court storming in Columbus, which was cool. And Caitlin's trying to leave, and a fan was running on the court, and they collided.
Oh, boy.
Did you see that Matt Painter basically predicted this a couple weeks ago? David, did you happen to see that? He was all up in a tizzy because he said these court stormings are out of control.
He did a few days earlier, in which he said, listen, the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors on my team have never lost a game in which there wasn't a court storming. And he said, and I'm pro court storming. He said, we just have to do it in a way where the players and the coaches can get off the field and the fans can do their thing. And, it's a good thing for everybody. And he said, by the way, I'm not a head of security. I don't know how to do these things. I'm a coach, but I'm just telling you, someone's going to get hurt. And he said that person could be anybody. Could be a player, could be a fan, could be an official. He said, we have to do something. He said it just days ago. Boom. Caitlin Clark gets flattened by a fan running onto the court in Columbus.
Unbelievable. That's a type of thing obviously you never want to see. And now the premier player in women's basketball gets hurt in a court storm.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
We could argue premier player in all of basketball.
She's
Is
the
there
best
anybody
player
right?
in college
Is
hoops.
there anybody right now, pro, male, or female, who's a bigger draw than Caitlin Clark?
It's dadgum good point, David.
I mean, she's putting 10,000 people in the stands who don't normally come. Just saying. Florida State lost at home in women's hoops, and they're ranked 15th in the country, so that's an upset. Virginia beat them by 4. South Carolina remains unbeaten and number 1. They won by 35 yesterday at A&M. They are 17-0. I don't know if you guys noticed, it was an interesting symmetry. While Tampa Bay, the Bucs, were in Detroit to play the Lions, the Lightning were in Detroit to play the Wings.
Yes.
In that game, puck drop got moved. It was supposed to be at 5. They moved it to 7 o'clock so that all the Lions fans could walk over and watch.
Detroit won 2-1. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Besides, they walked over to the casinos. They were fine. The Islanders over the weekend fired their head coach, Lane Lambert, and replaced him with Patrick Waugh. Ooh, I like it. And then the Islanders went out and won yesterday. Well, that always happens in hockey. You fire the coach, the new coach always wins the opener. 3-2 over Dallas. Rangers snap a losing skid. They score 4 in the third to beat Anaheim 5-2. And outside of the football, man, was the golf outstanding over the weekend. Lydia Ko wins on the LPGA Tour. She's 1 point away from qualifying for the LPGA Hall of Fame now. They do it on a point system. She's now 1 point away. Rory wins for the 4th time in Dubai.
Does he keep the money?
Yeah, it's okay to play and win in Dubai because that's the DP World Tour. It's not okay to play and win in Dubai when it's the LIV Tour.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Right. Come on now. Get your tours straight. But on the PGA Tour yesterday, 20-year-old amateur Nick Dunlap, an Alabama sophomore, he shot 60 on Saturday. He took a 3-shot lead into the final round, made an early double and lost the lead, came back, made a few birdies, thought he had a 2-shot lead going to 18. He only had a 1-shot lead, walked up to the green and realized, holy blank, I got to make this 6-footer to win. And he did. He's the first amateur to win on the tour since Phil in 91. He's the youngest amateur to win on the PGA Tour since 1910 because he's a couple months younger than Phil. He gets a 2-year exemption to everything on the tour. He did not get the money yesterday, obviously, because he's an amateur. So that's $1.5 million he didn't win. Mark, post-game interview, post-match, post-round, they asked him all the questions except, are you going to turn pro? I mean, you go to college to do what?
To turn pro.
To get a job, right?
Yeah.
Well,
He's got one, and he just got handed one because he doesn't, help me, David, he doesn't have the exemption if he doesn't take the spot on tour. Like if he were to say, no, I want to stay an amateur, he doesn't have 2-year exemption on tour.
No. He gets
he's
it.
Got to take this right now. I mean, he's got to time. He doesn't have to take it today, but he's got to accept the tour's job.
Right. Like I think the win gets him in like a couple of the majors. But you're right. Okay. For the 2-year exemption, he's got to leave the University of Alabama and join the tour.
Right. Bye.
Oh, yeah. See you. Bye-bye. So long. Farewell. By the way, the second place person does get the first place check. That's how it works. Nick Dunlap, your winner. And that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So how about 2 Hall of Famers winning, Lydia Ko and Rory McIlroy? And the biggest story in golf is Nick Dunlap. And it's a hell of a story.
He shot 60 on Saturday.
That's 12 under, by the way.
Remarkable. JP Peterson and Matt Baker in our 8 o'clock hour. Thanks so much for listening to Miller and Moulton. Where else but right here on the Florida Sports Network. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, also, Paula, first off, he did it in conjunction with the organization. He didn't do like an NBA player and just bankrupt the organization by demanding a trade. He and the organization, worked together on it. And it's a trade that worked out pretty well for you. I could argue you're not in the position that you're in if he doesn't agree to the trade. Whew. Yes, Paul. I think him getting out of the way also gave the organization the ability to do some things. But they finally hired the right people. Not that that's important or anything. I'm going to be rooting hard for the Lions. I think that would be an amazing story. Hey, Trent, did they send out anything concerning Super Bowl tickets? Like sign up for a raffle or a drawing or anything?
I haven't seen anything,
Okay.
but I'm sure they have. I just haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, you got 6 bills, didn't you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah. And I was telling Mark, I sold them to my dad's buddy, so he paid me directly. I didn't go through Ticketmaster. I pulled him down and then that was really nice.
Capitalism right there, baby.
Yes, it was perfect.
Oh, so your dad was with one of his sons and one of his buddies.
Yes.
Does dad have a voice this morning?
Nope.
There's no way.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Monday, a Monday the likes of which we haven't seen in over 30 years, because the Detroit Lions are in the NFC Championship game. I mean, hell, we've seen it each of the last 6 years. The Chiefs are in the AFC Championship game. What a dichotomy. Chiefs on one side, ho-hum. The Lions on the other. My goodness. A couple of ones, a couple of threes, Mark. It's like an Elite Eight.
And one of the ones, being Baltimore, did what they were supposed to, and Lamar Jackson, I don't know how much he silenced critics, but he began to silence the critics because he was terrific in every aspect of the game on Saturday.
He does look, Mark, like he's playing the game at a certain speed and everyone else is playing at a much slower speed. And I don't just mean with his speed and athleticism. It's almost like his decision making is in slow motion. Am I going to throw it over here? No, he seems covered. Over here? No. Just let me create a little bit more time for myself. Let me run over here, but not too fast. I have to stay under control because I still have to complete this pass. Oh, look, he's open over there. Here you go.
But then, if you do everything perfectly and you defend all those runners, then he takes off.
Right.
And he's a human joystick. His ability to stop at damn near full speed, David,
right,
is unbelievable.
That's a problem. It really is. It's like a cartoon. The defenders just go whoop right by him. Like, is this Bugs Bunny? No, it's Lamar. Just trying to get a first down and not get hit. That's all. Yeah, he's pretty good, and they got a lot of talent around him too. And Mark Andrews apparently is coming back this week because they need one of the 5 best tight ends in the league to join them.
Well, and now they're going to be dangerous because the one thing that's happened is that this likely character that the other tight end has looked like he's a legit tight end. I mean, they're going to have the ability to run 12 personnel and do some scary things when Andrews is back.
But the pressure's still on them.
100%. Against who? Kansas City and Mahomes, and the pressure is squarely on the Ravens. You've got it, David.
By the way, are the Chiefs now, for the first time, are they becoming Darth Vader? Are they slowly beginning to wear the black hat through no fault of their own? But you know how we turn. We turn on a team and on a group of athletes in which it's like, come on, we're tired of you winning.
Have we really turned on him, Trent? You think so?
Well, I have never been on the Chiefs. I don't like the Chiefs.
Okay.
I
so
was in the minority there, and I know that. So
Really? No. You don't like them?
no, I was rooting for
Really?
the
So
49ers
it's
for Super
not
Bowl.
that you don't root for them. You don't like them.
Don't like them.
Wow.
Who? Mahomes? Reed? Is there a specific reason? Because there are not a lot of Chiefs haters out there until you get to, a Raiders fan or someone in the division.
Right.
There's no animosity between Detroit and Kansas City.
Right. And I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm a hater. I just don't. Anytime that there's a lot of hype surrounding a team, I typically don't like them because my teams are always the underdog. But here's the thing.
Say, yeah, sure. Well, that's obvious because your teams never get any hype because
Right.
they suck. Right. So you're jealous. You're
I
jealous.
like Andy Reid.
That's
Jealous is a good way to put it, I guess. That's fine. That's fair. I like Andy Reid. I don't like Mahomes, Kelsey. I hated Tyreek Hill when he was in Kansas City because I think he's just not a great human being, but that's not, whatever. I've come down on it a little bit, but initially, not a Chiefs guy. Moving on. Sorry.
Be careful. The Swifties will come after you.
Oh, I know they will.
And you're too young to have the Swifties come after you.
Yes. They could haunt you for a long time. They could only haunt Miller and Moulton for so long, but they could haunt you for a long time. But I get the sense that, this is 6 straight years. Remember, the Patriots were lovable. I mean, that the first, go round when they won 3 out of 4 and what have you. I mean, we're like, oh, there's Brady. And, just the way they were doing it, and they kept winning these close playoff games, and, they were likable. And then, really? Them again? Oh, God, really? Can't we get anybody else? Not only that, this Brady guy, he's so damn good looking. Oh, great. He marries the supermodel. People began to turn on him. When he was lovable Tom, the 6th round pick, number 199, he was cute. They were likable. I kind of feel as if we're beginning to go down. Never mind, you get the whole Taylor Swift thing. I was so glad Jason Kelsey ripped off his shirt and did that, because now it's like, see, I mean, look at that. Playing for the cameras. Okay, exploiting a relationship with Travis for his own benefit. I mean, that's just appalling. The same stuff they're saying about her. They
Right.
say about him. Did you see where I was going there?
I see what you did there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Tell you what, I got a text from a buddy of mine, Bob, who said, don't you want to grow up and be Jason Kelsey? Yeah, actually. That's not bad.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind growing up being Travis Kelsey.
Well, but I mean, Jason, guzzling the beer.
Right.
Guzzling the beer. Plus, Bob's a bigger guy. Okay, so Bob's
the lineman.
Yeah, Bob's,
Yeah, but just wait till we see Jason Kelsey shed that O-lineman body and he starts to slim up a little bit, and all of a sudden,
I don't know. I think Jason, that's the key. That's the key, Trent. Which way do they go? Which way do they go? Okay, I could see Jason going the other way.
Yeah, I haven't seen many new level athletes go the other way that often, especially ones that are going to have careers in media. You know what we're rooting for, David. You and I are rooting for fat over skinny. I mean, that's just a fact.
I don't know. Jason just seems to me like the kind of guy like, wait a minute, I don't have to work out anymore? Yeah, I ain't working out. I can just sit around and eat. I still do this podcasting thing. Phew. Man, I should have retired sooner.
I'm predicting slim Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's what I'm predicting.
I hate to
Now,
say
I
it.
could see it both ways.
Now, I'm on the side of fat. I'm betting fat. All right. I need points. I want fat and 2.5.
I'll give you fat and 3.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. But I loved it. I'm like, there you go. That's brotherly love right there. Ripping the shirt off. He actually went into the stands. Okay. And he's so cool. Bills fans were like high-fiving him and slapping his back. And they know he's not rooting for them. That's when you know you're cool.
I'm trying to figure out who the team is that's not going to give her the suite.
Oh,
If I was a fan of the team that gave her that gives her the suite,
right?
Like, I am.
Maybe the NFL's demanding it, but I mean, it's like there's only a couple suites that are available for game day rentals.
I would be furious if my team gave her. If I'm a Ravens fan and she's in a suite next week, I'm furious.
Well, don't you think that the opposing team is given 1 or 2 suites? So then it's just a matter of the Kelseys and the Mahomes have to work it out with the owner. Because I'm guessing that the suite is given to Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs. But let's face it, Clark Hunt at that point is calling Brittany Mahomes going, so how many are you bringing? Is Taylor coming? I mean, you got the coolest damn box the league's ever had. I mean, what are you going to? No, I'm sorry.
No. I get that, David. I'm never saying that she's not going to be there. It's just one of those things. You're a fan of a team and all the attention's given to the one box that the visiting teams
I know.
Our girlfriends in. It's just
Trent, okay, put it this way. DC's touched on it in the Twitch chat room. If by chance Taylor is having trouble getting a suite, Goodell will give her his.
I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Raj will just say, you know what? You take that one. I'll go to San Francisco.
Right. I'll sit over with Biscotti in the Ravens suite. You can have mine. Yeah, this is running its course this year. Next year, there may be different rules. But for this year, yeah, she's going to be in any game she wants.
Wherever she wants. Wearing that big jacket.
Oh, yeah. The stitched up jerseys and all that stuff.
Hey, I know. It's appalling. It really is. All right. 2 pretty people in love. Okay. Making a bunch of people wearing their clothing for free and making those people tens of thousands of dollars now in sales that they get none of. Those rat bastards.
So maybe this would surprise you. I have no problem with any of the Taylor Travis stuff. I don't care. I just would rather focus on the football. That's all. Show her a couple times. Go for it. I got no problem with it. I got no problem with them being together.
I'd have Taylor Cam.
I think it's great. I think it's entertaining. It's good for the sport. It's good for entertainment. It's good for America. It's great. They're 2 of the biggest stars in this country.
Wow.
She's a big star in the world. It's great.
Are we going Lee Greenwood here? God, he was on a roll there. It's good for America. I'm proud to be an American. Where we show Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. But I just get the sense that there's a little bit of there's Chiefs backlash. Just kind of like, this is how I felt about Brady and the Patriots. I'm kind of over them.
I think if they won it this year, that would really do it. Once you get to 3 in the span of, 5 or 6 years, it's kind of like, all right, let's see. That's like Spurs territory a little bit.
I don't know if that will happen until the Super Bowl, though, because I don't know how many people will be rooting for Baltimore over Kansas City nationally.
Well, I know CBS won't be. I mean, who do you want in the Super Bowl? I mean, you can't lose, but you can win, if you know what I mean. Trent Bally in the play of the day. Imagine what it's going to be next.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So the Packers get rid of the best kicker they've ever had after 17 years, and because they drafted some kid in the 6th round, and he missed kicks in 10 of their last 12 games.
Wow.
And they said they're going to stick with him. How?
Yeah,
Remember,
that's
remember
alarming.
Robbie Gould, and I retired like a month ago because nobody called him. But I mean, why do teams do this? Why?
Yeah. that one is a head scratcher.
Why in the world would you have a kicker that you don't have complete confidence in?
Yeah, when the Lions got rid of Matt Prater, I was not happy about that. We actually haven't. It's been a revolving door since then. Because this Badgley, who we've got kicking now, he was on and off the team last year, practice squad and up and everything. And then this season, he wasn't the kicker until a month ago. It's Riley Patterson, former Jaguar.
Last handful of years, Wes.
So my daughter's softball coach is a college football official.
Oh.
Works in the Sun Belt. And they have connections with the SECs. Young guy. Let us know. He goes, I'll probably miss a game or two in the spring. Because if they call, then I talked to him a little bit after. He goes, if Florida calls and says they want me, I'm racing to there. He goes, I'm trying to get up as far as this I can get.
Totally.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. JP Peterson to join us at the top of the hour as we look back at the Bucs' performance yesterday and their season and where they go from here. And Matt Baker to join us a little more than an hour, a story that developed late Friday into the weekend. NCAA looking into the Gators for NCAA violations. So we'll just a quick college football chat with Matt Baker coming up in a little more than an hour. So did the Bucs play about as well as you thought, better than you thought, worse than you thought, Mark, in their performance against the Lions yesterday?
Honestly, about how I expected them to play. I thought they were going to be able to score some points. I thought that Detroit's secondary was suspect. Evans had a big game. I'm not surprised by any of that. It was Baker's 2 picks that were the difference in the game. And as you pointed out earlier in the show, the first one not his fault. The second one was.
Yep. The irony of ironies, the linebacker who picked off the pass to seal the game, been with the team 3 years. It was his first pick. So
Derek Barnes.
He was given the game ball by Dan Campbell afterwards. Only one game ball given. He got it. So for the record, Mark, who had the Bucs in 6.5, so that 2-point conversion really interested both Miller and Moulton because I was laying the 6.5. So we were very interested in those proceedings for non-entertainment purposes only. And that was the difference. I went 3-1 against the spread. Mark did have the Chiefs and the points. I took the Bills. I took the Packers in the points, though.
That was the difference. I was 4-0 straight up.
You were. I was 3-1 because I went with the 4 home teams. So Mark was 4-0 straight up, 2-2 against the number. I was 3-1 with both. And 5th year in a row, a road team's won a game in the divisional round. Remember that heading into next year. Got to go back to 2018, the last time we had the home teams go 4-0. 5th year in a row now, at least one road team winning in the divisional round. We talked about this off air. I do think we need to mention it on air. Gary Danielson has famously said on this show years ago, he's not a momentum guy. And he and others at times have downplayed the whole difference that, the crowd can make. And there are times, certain teams, crowd can make a big difference. I mean, listen, the Baltimore crowd rattled Houston.
Totally. They had 9 pre-snap penalties in that game, I believe.
At least 7, put it that way. They had double-digit penalties, and I think 7 of them were pre-snap. Yeah. And there's no doubt that they got their plays in late, and they were trying to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and it was a bad combination. Give Dave Canales and Baker Mayfield and the Bucs a lot of credit. And I'm not this way because of Gary. I actually this way because of a game I was at 25 years ago when the Metrodome's the loudest indoor place I've ever been to. I mean, they pumped noise into that. That place was unbelievably loud. You could not have a conversation with the person next to you on the sideline. It was so loud. And that great 98 Vikings team was hosting the Falcons. And the Falcons went in there. Dan Reeves is head coach, a veteran quarterback, and Chris Chandler. They didn't have a single pre-snap penalty the whole game. Game went overtime, played about 70 minutes of football. Not one 5-yard penalty on the Falcons the whole game. They went silent count. And they just said afterwards when we asked them, they go, we were disciplined in practice during the week. I mean, you have to learn how to play without being able to verbally communicate. And so you practice it during the week. Therefore, it doesn't matter what the noise is. You're not talking to one another. And the Bucs, Mark, I thought, were tremendous yesterday. Canales got the plays in quickly. Baker had his hands over his ears before the crowd noise got going. Okay, Baker was in the huddle quickly with the play before the crowd got going. And I also thought they didn't try to get too fancy at the line of scrimmage. I thought they just kind of lined up and said, we're going to run our play.
And give Baker some credit on this as well. We talked about it earlier in the week that Baker had talked to all of his buddies on the Rams. And the Rams told him to a man, it's the loudest place we've ever played.
And this comes a week after that game where the Rams had to burn 2 timeouts in the second half. Now, that's a coaching decision, of course. Sometimes you can argue whether or not, the 5 yards is more valuable.
Well, exactly, because one of them was like 3rd and 10, and they took the timeout, and you could argue whether or not they should have just ate the 5 yards, right?
But nonetheless, I mean, you guys are exactly right. Baker Mayfield was not rattled at all. He was cool, calm, collected the whole game.
And that could have been our other poll question today if we wanted to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers centric and just say, do you want to keep Bowles? And you and I are keeping Bowles, but I've got, texters who want him out of there, David.
Wow. Do you really think the Bucs underachieved this year? And that's what I would say to them. Do you really think they underachieved this year? Did you not think they were prepared and these 2 playoff games?
Here's what I think is interesting. His aggressiveness at the end, and I know it was analytics and stuff. Some of that might have had to do with the fact that maybe he was told before the game or before the playoffs even, anything short of NFC Championship game or whatever, and we're moving on. Because you guys have been on this for weeks now that the ownership, they are known to do this at times, right? Making the playoffs, winning the division ain't always.
I don't think he went for 2 to save his job. I think he went for 2 because he thought Mike Evans is uncoverable.
I think Luca's analytics tell you now to go for 2. I think that the majority of coaches have made their mind up down 2 scores. They're going for 2.
Sure.
He was instantaneous in having the 2 fingers up. There was they had thought about this going up. They had made the conversation. We score. We're going for 2.
I'm just simply saying, I mean, that is an aggressive call, even if
it is
in his mind already, but the mindset of being aggressive like that, I just think
it is. And he's a defensive and at times conservative coach. Okay. But you're right. He was very aggressive yesterday. I think he knew they were going to have to score some points to win that game. I think that played into it.
Time now for the play of the day, brought to you by Molly Maid. Trent, what do you have for us?
Bucs fan, I am sorry. I have to do this. We go to Detroit where the Lions are hosting a second playoff game.
What? We're going to the Lions-Bucs game for the play of the day?
As we've talked about in this segment, the crowd was rabid all evening long, but Baker and Todd Bowles handled it perfectly. Cool, calm, smooth, until this play sealed it. Here's Dan Miller and Lomas Brown on the Lions Radio Network.
Mayfield takes him straight to the line with 1:40. Baker leans in. There's the snap. Blitz comes. Mayfield back, loads, throws. Picked up by the Lions. Intercepted by the Lions. Intercepted by the Lions. Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes. Oh, baby. 1:33 to go. The Lions are going to San Francisco.
So if you couldn't tell, it was Derek Barnes picking off Baker Mayfield at the very end. He was from Brad Holmes' first draft class in Detroit. Makes a great grab. It's his first career interception, as David said, and he got the game ball from Coach Dan Campbell post-game as the Lions close this one out. One heck of a year at Ford Field, and they continue the prowl to the NFC Championship game. And there's your play of the day presented by Molly Maid.
Call Molly Maid today, 239-774-5839. Let me do that again. 774-5839, 5839. Call Molly Maid today.
Are you okay with Lomas? Okay, getting a little excited there. It is kind of, I mean, I know you and I, the play-by-play guy, we want the color guy to, just let us do our call, but spur of the moment there, kind of a BFD.
Yeah, I know. Let the play-by-play guy do his job.
Genuine joy, though.
I know. He couldn't help it, because he let that yes go right before he said interception.
And even if they shut his mic off, you would have heard it on Dan Miller's
You're
mic.
darn right you would have.
There was nothing that was going to keep Lomas's mouth shut in that
Nope.
moment.
Nope.
No, that's like Michigan doing it with Espo. Whenever Espo wants to talk, Espo's going to talk. So, Bucs with a good performance, but the Lions move on for the first time in 32 years. Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. What are you, being all healthy in there with an apple? Holy cow, what's going on? No donuts?
What the heck?
I got a big crate of apples at Costco.
All right.
Honey Crisp.
Wow. I was a big apple guy as a kid. And then I had a lot of ear, nose, and throat stuff going on as a kid, and I took so much medicine in applesauce because I was awful with pills. And I had so much applesauce as a kid that I got tired of apples. I'm like, I can't do apples. But
So
apple was always my go-to fruit.
So you're now not an apple guy.
Yeah, I got out of the habit of eating apples.
Do you
because
have
of
a
it.
fruit that you do like that you eat?
I have a banana a day.
Nice. Because you know what they say, a banana a day.
Get you more potassium. What do they say?
No, I'm just kidding.
You know, Mello, do you know how many people asked me about the Joe and Troy Nike Monday Night Football jackets?
I loved those.
Oh my goodness, my phone blew up over those jackets.
I was one of them.
Like, hey, they passing those out. You get one of those?
That's a nice jacket.
Can you get one of those? Please. Can't even get a golf shirt. In fact, Bill, Ed, and I, we've come up with a ploy at our production meetings next year. We're going to wear our Fox stuff. We can't wear them to the game. We can get fired, but we can wear it to the production meeting. We're going to wear our Fox
You guys
stuff.
are just something.
Hey, we want some swag, and we're going to make a point.
We want some swag. We're going to make a point. I get to sit at the 50-yard line for the best game of the week every week, and it's not enough. I need a free shirt, too.
I need a
Free
free shirt.
T-shirts.
I need a golf shirt.
You're no different than anybody else.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm smart. People say I'm dumb, but I'm not. I'm smart.
Is that Fredo?
Yes.
No, I got it in me too. No, Shimko, he doesn't. But that's funny. At least Pat Kerwin will be happy he's not going to Kansas City.
Yep. He is going to Baltimore, though. They were not going to Buffalo. If it were like they were going to Kansas City, but they weren't going to Buffalo.
Right.
Have they always done the Gene Steratore is next to them?
No,
'Cause that
that's
was
only
weird.
It's late in the season. Like he did it with us for the SEC championship game.
Okay.
They actually tested him out because they were going to do it in the NFL playoffs. So they tested it out with us.
Gotcha.
And it was a controlled environment because it's in the dome. So
That was just, I mean, I don't think it was like bad, or it was interesting to me. I noticed right away. I was like, that's kind of weird.
I had a lot of people text me about they noticed that the CBS jackets that Nance and Romo wore in comparison to the Monday Night Football jackets, that Nance and Romo's jackets look 20 years old compared to the Nike Monday Night Football jackets that you could tell just came out of the box.
Yeah.
And
All
no,
right.
Mel
Here
did
we go.
not get one of those jackets.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. JP Peterson will join us at the top of the hour. We look back at the Bucs season performance yesterday. They got a lot of free agents. Where do they go from here? JP Peterson, top of the hour. Matt Baker, talk a little college football. Gators in some hot water with the NCAA. What's up with that? That's a story that broke late Friday into the weekend. We'll talk to Matt Baker of the Tampa Bay Times about that 1 hour from now. Our poll question, it's an oldie but a goodie on Miller and Moulton. My favorite topic of all time, The damn fumble it through the end zone touchback.
And David, early voting, the people are with you, albeit barely. 53-47, the no's are winning.
We ask you simply, do you like the rule that if you fumble it through or out of the end zone, that it's a touchback, yay or nay? That's all. No, you don't give you any variables, any options. You know, I was hoping for a hell no instead of just no, but, you know, Mark, some decorum to the show, which, you know, has to rein me in from time to time. And by time to time, I mean days that end in Y. So, you know, yes or no? Do you like the rule? And for
And
the
you
record,
think the yeses, we're going to kill this and win.
yeah, 70-30 is my prediction. Okay, I think it's going to be at least 2-1. I really do. People are into rules. I mean, we don't follow them in our everyday life, but boy, in theory, boy, we got a lot of people that follow the rules.
And it is interesting here that of Miller and Moulton, I would be the rule breaker out of the two of us. More likely to break the rule, Miller would win that over Moulton every damn time.
However, in keeping with our true personalities, who pushes back at authority more, Miller or Moulton?
Moulton.
Right. And so what am I doing here? I know what the rule is, and I'm looking at the boss going, I know what the rule is, boss, and I'm going to follow it, but it's stupid. And so are you for passing it.
And
you can
so
ask Mark.
are you for
Yep.
passing it.
And
that right there breaks down David Moulton as well as anything he has ever said on the show. If there is one sentence that basically encapsulates David, that was it. It's a stupid rule. I'm going to follow it. It's a stupid rule, and you're stupid for passing it.
Right.
Everything was fine right up until the last sentence when he jumps into the canyon.
Right.
Trying to jump over it, it doesn't work.
No. Evil Knievel. Okay. I'm crashing. I'm bouncing off the pavement. Yep. And I did it to myself. Yep. I didn't have to jump over those buses, but I'm doing it anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Florida Sports Network.com. Trent, by the way, where are you? Yay or nay?
Sorry, I had to swallow my apple. I am nay. I'm with you, David.
Oh, you are? You would change the rule.
I would change it to exactly what David presented.
There's nothing left for the defense in this game, guys. They get nothing. They have no. They every damn rule is against the defense, and you're taking away the last rule left that the defense has any advantage.
So, admittedly, before the show when we were talking, I was 100% with you, and then, you know, I'm young and a little stupid sometimes. I don't have the brain capacity to think of a solution here. David came with a pretty good solution.
For the record,
move it back.
Down in distance. Okay, go back to the line of scrimmage, wherever that is. Now, the play yesterday, Hardman trying to score, it was 1st and goal from the 3. Doesn't seem very punitive. It would have pushed it back 2.5 yards from where he fumbled. Would have been 2nd and goal from the 3. But how many times do we see it's, you know, a pass play or a run from somewhere of some distance? I would take it all the way. Go all the way back. You know, Mark equated it to having to hit a mulligan. You're hitting 3 off the tee. Yeah. Okay. You know, I would treat it like intentional grounding, down in distance. Now, they do it from the spot of the grounding. All right. But I would go back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of down. There you go. So if it's a 4th down play, it's a turnover. I mean, I'm not trying to reward the offense in any way. I just think that it is an overly punitive rule. And I just think theoretically, you're giving possession to a team who never possessed the ball. Hell, in a lot of cases, they never even touched it. Why do they get possession? I don't know. But anyway, yes or no? Do you like the rule?
And right now, a few more of you do not like the rule than like the rule.
which I'm surprised. I am surprised because, boy, are we into rules in sports, by the way, not in life. No. We don't follow the rules in life. We don't go by the speed limit. We don't stop at stop signs. We blow through red lights. Okay. Never mind if we want to go down even a further road. No.
Just quickly, on those three, what do you do the most of?
Well, I don't blow through stop. I roll stop signs.
Right. That's what I meant. Roll stop signs.
I roll stop signs.
Speed. Or run a red light. What do you do the most of?
I go through orange a lot. My lights are orange a lot. Yellow, red.
No. I got you.
Yeah. No, I'm like Bob.
I'm guilty of all three of these. I'm probably the biggest stickler of stopping at stop signs because it drives me. I live close to a corner, and walking the dog or out with my daughter, seeing people blow through the stop sign drives me nuts.
Well, if there's anyone within view, a pedestrian or a car, literally within view, I come to a complete stop. But come on, if we're coming up to, a two-way, a four-way, and there's nothing around, we could just slow down to an acceptable level. Almost come to a stop like, oh, wow, if you touched that brake a little harder, you would have stopped. But no, okay. But I'm like Bobby Bowden used to be. We play through the whistle. Okay, that's kind of how I am with the light. It's yellow, it's red. Well, was it really red? I mean, at first glimpse of red, is that red? Okay, or is it red at the end of the light? It's kind of like, is that delay a game? I mean, it's 0, but is it 0 immediately, or do I get to look down and look up and then it's 0?
That's a great analogy.
I have one light that I'm probably a little more crimson on than I am orange. There's a turn that I make. There's an arrow, and if you gun it at the arrow, you can make the next light. And if you don't make the next light, it's a long light. And it's after gymnastics. So I come hauling out of there trying to make that light.
Right.
And if it's close, David,
you've got it down to a science as far as
we're playing through the whistle.
There you go. Nothing wrong with playing through the whistle. Okay, especially when it's 3 minutes on the other side of that whistle.
Exactly.
I am done. I've sat through this hour gymnastics practice. I do not need 3 more minutes. Plus, Mark, back in my day, our daughter, we had to listen to the radio for her music. So Radio Disney would be on. That's 3 more minutes of Radio Disney in the car. Stab me in the neck, will you?
Yeah,
golly.
You're a better dad in that regard than I am, because my daughter, I'm trying to get her to like rock and roll. Right now, it's Kids Bop, and there's really no argument in my car. She's going to listen to what I tell her to listen to. In fact, I put on Led Zeppelin in the car, and we just listened to one Led Zeppelin song in a row after another. And she's like, Daddy, why are we listening to Led Zeppelin? I said, because you need to. This is important.
It's good for your development.
You'll thank me one day.
Yes. When you're daydreaming in class and you're singing Dream On to yourself, okay? But a couple of 1s and a couple of 3s. By the way, man, did San Francisco look vulnerable Saturday night, huh? Man, oh man. And is it me, or did he look small? Green Bay just decided we're pushing the pocket back. We're not doing anything fancy. We're just pushing the pocket back. We're going to treat him like he's Drew Brees and just see how tall is he in the pocket. And he had trouble with that wet football. He did not like it, which is interesting considering where he grew up. It's not like he, had never played in bad weather before.
Had the glove on for a while, took the glove off.
Right. But I will say this, though. He was money on that final drive as opposed to the guy on the other sideline. Man, I mean, this is a really tough word to use, and I'm not going to use it, but Jordan Love, the final 20 minutes of that game, I thought he was choking. I mean, that first interception when they're up 7 and they got the ball near midfield, 3rd and 11, the short cross by the tight end, he's wide open. That ball is late, high, and behind him. I mean, it was an awful throw.
And the one that cost him, the one at the end of the game is just.
That was Brett Favre.
Even Favre thought that was a bad pass. And what most of us, I think, obviously, how many of us have thrown a ball in a game. All right. But didn't you think he was just going to keep running to the sidelines?
I totally thought he was going to run. If he can beat the one guy, does he turn up and does he get 6-8 yards? If not, just run the ball out of bounds.
100%. That's the only thing that I was thinking of. But here's the thing, guys. I mean, and you guys were kind of on this. You guys weren't crowning Jordan Love. You're giving him credit because he was playing well, but he was inconsistent all year. He had good stretches, bad stretches.
I mean, it was 5 weeks ago that we all watched him on national television get outplayed by Tommy Cutlets.
Correct.
And then he goes on this roll for a month. But we saw it all in one game, really. I mean, for the first 40-plus minutes, Jordan Love was Aaron Rodgers 2.0. And then Jordan Love was the senior at Utah State who was bad. I mean, it was unbelievable how bad he was down the stretch of that. Late third quarter, because I thought that turnover began it. They were up 7. They got the ball in good position. Even if he doesn't throw the pick there, it's 4th down. They punt him to the 10, and San Francisco's not doing anything. That got him 3 points, which turns out to be the difference in the game, that pick. But wow, he was bad once they got up by 7. It was as if he realized,
But the missed kick in that game, too. I mean, they missed the kick that puts them up 7. That's,
Well, another organization sticking with a young kicker in which, it's not like it's the first kick he's missed all year, Mark. In fact, there's no kicker in the league who missed more kicks than Daniel Carlson of the Packers. He missed kicks in 10 of their last 12 games. I mean, how many times did you see this weekend, the Texans kicker going into the playoff game? He'd missed one kick all year. It was the 50-something yarder against the Jags that hit the crossbar. We all know how good Tucker is. I mean, how many kickers this year missed 1, 2, 3 kicks? Daniel Carlson missed 13 kicks. How can you go into a playoff game with a kicker that you can't depend on?
Well, I don't know how
say it. And they talked about it that he doesn't trust his own kicker.
And I'm sorry, I said Daniel. Daniel's his brother, Anders Carlson. My bad.
Well, and usually when something like this is happening or it's in the process of happening, a guy has 3 bad games in a row missing kicks, they cut him. They go get somebody. It's kicker. I'm not trying to minimize the position because you see how important it is, but it's replaceable.
Well, it's replaceable when you're missing at that rate.
That's what I'm saying. I can't believe they went into to David's point that they even went into a playoff game with that low of confidence in their kicker.
I mean, they could have brought Mason Crosby back. The Giants signed him in December. I mean, he's still kicked in the league. He hasn't retired. I mean, Mason Crosby would have made that 41-yard field goal, put him up 7. Feel badly for the Bills kicker. Oh boy, wide right, not snap hook left, not blocked, not double doink. Of all the kickers, Mark, the Bills kicker misses a big kick. Where?
Wide right, David.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I know he's a pretty damn good kicker. He missed 2 last week and missed 1 this week.
Yeah, Tyler Bass.
How do you come back from that?
How do you bring him back?
Now,
I'm not joking.
I will say, you go back 30-plus years, Norwood misses the kick in the Super Bowl against the Giants. They brought him back the next year. He had a very good kick. They replaced him a year later with a better kicker in Steve Christie. Okay, but they did not get rid of Norwood just because he missed a kick against the Giants. And he actually came back and had a very good year, and ironically, in the next Super Bowl, made the same distance field goal that he missed against the Giants.
David, I got you. And I'm just having trouble for him bringing him back.
Agree.
I'm running the Bills right now.
Because the Bills have had how many crushing losses since then?
Well, a few.
And they're going to look for a scapegoat.
Miller and Moulton. JP Peterson coming up next. We'll talk to him about everything Tampa Bay, including what to do with the Bucs and Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. That's all next right here on Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So I played in a golf tournament on Saturday, David. I got called a sandbagger.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I played well.
Did you say to that person, hey, it's also a surprise to me?
No, he said it in front of a bunch of people. He says, oh, he's going to have to dump all the sand out of his bag. And literally 3 guys turned around and went, oh, kept it in play today, huh, Milsey? It was half sarcasm and half he was the defending champ and got drubbed and didn't like it.
Well,
we were with, because there's strokes involved with handicap. Me and my partner were 5 under best ball. That usually will play. Through 15, we beat him 4-3.
Right. But come on now. They got to know you're a streaky player, though.
But he'd never played with me before.
Ah.
But he was a scratch handicap, and I didn't ask Joe how old he was. He was in his 70s, and he was a scratch. And hit the ball. I hit 3 wood off the tee because I can't hit a driver, but I still hit the ball pretty hard.
Right.
If I hit it good and he hit it good, he hit it past me. And there aren't a lot of people out there that do that. And he was, like I said, he had to be 70 or close to it. I don't, I'm not going to ask him how old he was, but he wasn't young.
I was going to say you could add further insult there.
Well, it was funny because we were just talking because everybody lives there. And one of the guys, his partner was Mark Miller. So it was, a lot of money was riding on Mark Miller winning that match.
Interesting.
And Mark said, because he's like, your mom in here? And I'm like, yeah. And I said, she's 79. He looks at me and he's like, my mom would be 100 and whatever. The Bears are going to hire Shane Waldron as their OC.
Yeah, he's been the OC the last 3 years in Seattle.
Right.
Canales was the quarterback's coach under him. So are we going to have JP on the phone?
I sent him the link. I've not seen him pop up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, JP did not pop up on the link, Trent, so you're going to have to call him.
He's on the phone. Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network. Matt Baker of the Tampa Bay Times to join us coming up in about 35 minutes time. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Our poll question simply, do you like the touchback rule when they fumble through or out of the end zone? Yes or no? It's pretty close to 50-50, which I'm surprised because I thought more of you would like it. I hate it. JP Peterson will get his thoughts on that and a few other things. He puts the shirt and tie on for Lightning Hockey Night Live, but he wears the shorts and the golf shirt 10 to noon weekdays for the JP Peterson Show. Streaming on FanStream Sports, but also you can get it in other places. JP, thanks for your time. How are you?
Good morning, Miller and Moulton. How you doing, boys?
Well, we are fine. First off, you can follow JP on Twix, Twitter/X at FanStreamJP. But tell everybody where they can get you before we get into the Bucs.
Oh, you can always find us on Twitter at FanStreamJP, our YouTube page, The JP Peterson Show, and FanStream Sports. That's the best place to watch, and always on Apple and Spotify. Thank you guys for having me on. As a Bucs season comes to a close, that I don't think I saw winning a playoff game in their future this year, so a definite improvement. And obviously, I think they have a great foundation moving forward.
So in your estimation, they certainly exceeded expectations, right, JP?
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, I predicted they would go 9 wins and win the division, but probably not win a playoff game, very similar to last year. And after losing, 6 or 7 games, after the Indianapolis game, you're looking at the way this team was playing. It was listless. It had no identity on either side of the football. Wasn't sure they were going to win another game. So credit Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield and Dave Canales and Levante David for just getting this team better each and every game. It's one of the great lessons I think that Brady brought to this group about improving every week. And I know it sounds kind of cliche, but that's really, you watch them do it as a master class in the COVID season, but they get better every single week, kept tweaking and tweaking until they got it right for the playoffs. You got to be playing your best football this Thanksgiving and then move forward. And I think the Bucs kind of use that formula in a much different way, obviously, with Baker Mayfield. And it was tremendous to watch this team come together.
Do you see this as a beginning, or do you see this as more of an ending? Because, I mean, I could go through the list of free agents right now, from Baker to Mike Evans to Winfield, Levante. I mean, we all know Devin White's not coming back. A couple of offensive linemen. I mean, it's some important people there.
Oh, well, no question. I think, but I think that's what you kind of settled on in the last few games, that Baker's your guy moving forward. There's no question he has a ceiling, but it's a nice ceiling. It's got some nice touches to it. It's definitely not an 8-foot ceiling. It's a 10-foot ceiling. You feel some space there, right, when you walk in. And and more than anything, you just feel it when you're in the locker room, guys. This team rallies around number 6. You talk to Tristan Wirfs, and even the guys on defense. He hangs out with the guys on defense as well. They love them some Baker Mayfield. He just is a perfect fit for Tampa, in my opinion. He's a blue-collar guy. You really feel that underdog mentality. It's a great identity for this team. And I think they got some nice blocks moving forward on defense. You can't see coming on, Diaby coming on. Yeah, you bring back Levante. And you got a lot more cap money. And I think if you're Baker Mayfield, and this will certainly piss off the NFLPA, but you say, look, I want to leave a little money on the table. Yeah, maybe I could go make some more somewhere else, but I want to leave some money on the table so we could sign Evans, we can sign Winfield, we can bring Tristan Wirfs back, everybody put the band back together and do this again. Make a couple runs in three. Baker's got some time left. Look, I don't know if it's the perfect scenario for the future, but I think Mike Greenberg, their capologist, can get this done. And more than anything, I think these guys want to stay together. And that's the most important thing.
What kind of contract do you then give Evans? Because you have to keep him. A great rapport between Baker and Evans this year. That was evident. And Evans has to stay, to me. But how long of a deal do you think they give him?
I'd probably give him, 3 to 4 years, 3 years with maybe a player option for the 4th year. And I would, I think 22, 23 is the spot you need to be to keep Mike. Again, he might be able to get more on the open market, but I think every one of these guys will take $2 to $3 million less to stay. They love Tampa Bay. They love their teammates. They love their community. I think that, and Baker knows he might be able to go somewhere else, but he's been treated poorly by other organizations. Why would you leave this spot? Why would you do that? That makes no sense to me. I think he's smart enough to know he's got a home here. Got a baby on the way. The community has embraced him. I don't see him going anywhere. He's the key to the pieces. And then you'll have enough money, I think, to sign the other guys as well.
JP Peterson, host of the JP Peterson Show, 10 to noon weekdays. He also is the host of Lightning Hockey Night Live. You can follow JP on Twix, Twitter/X at FanstreamJP, FanstreamJP, and follow him at FanstreamSports.com, his show 10 to noon. Todd Bowles, when they were 4-7, we were all saying they're going to have a new coach. Even heading into the playoff game against the Eagles. All right. If they got blown out like they did in week 3, maybe Tampa would still have a new coach. Has he solidified the fact that this is now his team?
I think he has. And I think the way he managed the last few games, the Saints and Carolina notwithstanding, I did think that there was a chance that they got blown out or did not play well against the Eagles that Todd would be replaced. But, that's the difference in this league, right? It's razor thin. And if you look at the totality of what he did and finished it off with that win in the playoffs, and they go, that was a tremendous performance yesterday by this team, by the way. I don't want to let that get away. That was one of the best football games I've seen in a long time. I thought the coordinators were at their absolute best. They were just targeting the weaknesses of the other team, and the teams were executing at such a high level. It was like watching, Nadal and Federer go at it, or Hagler and Hearns. I thought it was that good a football game, and the Bucs never quit. They kept coming back. So let's give them their due, and I think that's a testament to Todd Bowles that he continues to get his teams to play in some really big moments. You're not going to win them all, not in this league. And I was really disappointed at that Saints game that he couldn't get them up, and the game plans were so poor. But he bounced back, and I think he earned it. I don't know if he's a Super Bowl winning coach. I don't know if that's the case. We'll see. But I think he's earned it, no question.
And we talked about it. It's not hard to get up for a game like yesterday's, but they were timely. They got plays in on time. All systems were working yesterday. They didn't have any pre-snap penalties. Detroit, with the great crowd that they had there, didn't take Tampa out of their game.
No, they didn't. And that's what I'm saying. You watch the way this team executed, and then go put on the tape from the Colts game. I mean, it's night and day. I mean, there was no accountability on the team. But interesting when Devin White sat down, and of course the plays he played yesterday hurt his team bad again. But when Bowles finally sat him down, this team won almost every single game. And I don't think that's by accident. And that's more part of the criticism for Todd Bowles. He sticks with guys way too long. So I think, those are things that Todd Bowles has to wear. And he at times gets really safe. I thought the zone defense implementation yesterday was never good at any point. I know you're going to give up some plays in man, and they did. But the zone is just slow death, and I hate much. The Bucs don't know how to play it. If I had one criticism about yesterday, that's it. But everything else, I thought they played their butts off, and it was one hell of a game. And I think you leave this season very, very buoyed for what's to come with some of the young players in this draft class that they uncovered this year.
All right. Let's just say they keep the obvious ones. They keep Baker. They keep Mike Evans. They keep Antoine Winfield. They keep Levante. Heading into free agency in the draft, where is it you'd like to see him go?
I'd love to see. You got to get an edge rusher. You got to get an edge rusher, a premier, either in the draft, which might be tough where they're at. And I think you got to get a center too. I think Ryan Jensen hasn't called it quits yet. But you can't count on him to ever play. I believe his contract is up now as well. I think you need a big time center. Robert Hainsey he's too small. And you need that bell cow to set the tone for the running game like Jensen used to do. So I think those are the top two priorities. You can always use a corner. I think they got their linebacker in KJ Brett, but you could probably find someone to, Servassier Dennis, I think is going to be a good one. But I think those spots are probably the highest priority for me.
Switching gears, do the Lightning need to make a move to make the playoffs, or are they going to keep this thing standing pat and be able to get it done?
I do think they need to make a move. I just don't know if they have the wherewithal to do it. Obviously they're tight up against the cap, so anything they do, they're going to have to move dollar for dollar, player for player. So to get something good, you're going to have to lose something good and an important part of the future. So it's a really, really small, needle to thread here for Julian Brees-Boggs. But I do think they need, if they could find, I know this is crazy, but a Ryan McDonough type, a defenseman that can play physical and just change your defense and be a leader in the locker room as well. I think they need a little bit more fire in there. Somebody, Pat Maroon, a Corey Perry. I think they're really missing that type of player that holds other guys accountable. So I think that's what Brees-Boggs would be looking for. Trying to find that and being able to make that deal is a totally another thing. But I think, look, they're playing well. They put it back together. They're back in the playoff spot, and I think you're going to continue to see their best hockey is ahead of them.
Lightning holding down right now the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Quickly, JP, good feeling, uneasy feeling about Stamkos and the Lightning in the future?
I'd say good feeling. I think when it comes down to it, I don't think there's any question it's affected this season. But I think they'll put that all behind him, or already have at this point. And I think he stays. I just can't see him going anywhere else. I just can't see him. The cap goes up $4 million this year, but they still have some other obligations. I just don't see Steven pulling the trigger to go someplace else. And I don't know if anybody's going to offer that much more money to make him go. I think with all the emotions, in a deep playoff run would certainly help. I think in the end, he's back in a Lightning sweater.
He's JP Peterson, 10 to noon weekdays, host of the JP Peterson Show, and you see him Lightning Hockey Night Live. Follow him on Twix at FanstreamJP. FanstreamJP. JP, all the best. Continued success. Thanks for your time.
Always fun being with you. Much appreciation. Thank you.
JP Peterson joining us here on Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail
Mark
East.
Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
E.B. Hill, I don't think Evans will be back.
And Joe, I would go to that rule as well. If the rule were to be changed, I wouldn't go to where the fumble was. I would go to the 20.
Yeah, I mean, Brett, it's a fair point. Has Belichick's time come and gone? I still think he's a very good coach. I don't think he should have anything to do with personnel anymore.
Has ESPN ever had the Super Bowl?
ABC has.
Okay.
ABC's last Super Bowl was Pittsburgh, Seattle in Detroit.
06?
Yeah, the 05 season. Yep. Al Michaels, John Madden.
Was that a game?
Seattle outplayed Pittsburgh for large chunks of it. The officiating was atrocious.
Really?
In Pittsburgh's favor. And the Steelers made they got a key turnover when Seattle was in the red zone, and they used a trick play near midfield, the wide receiver option pass for a touchdown. But take a look at Ben Roethlisberger's stats in that game, Trent. I don't think there's been a winning quarterback in a Super Bowl who statistically had as bad a day as Roethlisberger did. He was terrible.
Hines Ward won MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Did he throw the touchdown or catch it?
He caught it. Didn't Antoine Randall L throw it?
I was going to say, I forget which one caught it, which one threw it.
Threw it, 43-yard touchdown pass
Gotcha.
to Hines Ward. That's crazy.
And Roethlisberger was terrific in the playoffs, too. The playoffs was his really, like, they put the ball in his hands for the first time. But, boy, he was terrible against Seattle.
9 for 21. 123 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, a 22 rating. Conversely, Antoine Randall L had a 158 rating.
There you go.
1 for 43 yards and a tutty.
Seattle scored a touchdown. It was called back on a very dubious, I think it was holding call. Very dubious.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. Matt Baker of the Tampa Bay Times will join us in a little more than 15 minutes' time. I'm going to ask you the question we asked JP. Do you feel this is the beginning for the Bucs? Do you feel it's an end? Or do you feel it's just, it's one of those things. It was a season. This happens all the time. A team wins 9-10 games. They get into the playoffs. Maybe they win a game. Maybe they don't. Don't draw too much out of what just happened.
I'd probably lean there, but if I were to go beginning or end, it's beginning because they've done such a great job, David, and you've pointed this out a few times. They were in salary cap hell.
Yes.
Coming off of everything with Brady.
Yep.
And they were able to win the division in back-to-back years without Brady, or back-to-back years losing Brady this next year, and now have their cap in a lot better spot.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a beginning here.
I think they lose Evans.
I don't.
Okay. I think they lose him. I think there will be multiple teams who look at Mike Evans and go, listen, we're going to take a 2 to 3 year run at it here, and we're going to pay you. We're going to give you 3 for 70. All right. And we need you to come here, whether you're 1 or 1A. All right. We just need you to be Mike Evans. We need you to be a dude. I think both Texas teams, quite frankly, if you put Mike Evans on, I think Dallas needs another weapon besides CD. I thought you saw it once again. You double up on CD Lamb and Dak Prescott has problems. I think they need someone else. I put a weapon, that wide receiving core got banged up in Houston, but put Mike Evans on the Texans.
Kansas City is the obvious one.
Sure. They've got cap issues, though. Just keeping what they have. I don't know if they can free up enough money for Mike Evans. And this is, obviously, if you're Mike Evans, this is the last chance to get paid. I mean, you've been 10 years in the league. I mean, you're a wide receiver and you're very early. He's 31. I mean, this is Mike's last chance to get paid. And there's a lot of teams out there that don't have a number one receiver. And Mike Evans yesterday looked like what, Mark?
We looked like a 1.
Yep.
No, he looked like a 1. He had a couple of drops that I didn't like.
Wasn't the first pick off his hands?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, and for a Hall of Fame receiver, he is not perfect. His hands are not great. Okay, he's twice a game he'll have balls that just literally bounce off his hands, in which you're like, what was that? But I mean, he's
that drive to end the half, the first half. That was unbelievable. I mean, that's as good as it gets with Mike Evans. Baker's dialed in. Evans is torching Sutton, and he's bringing everything down. He was dialed.
This just in, by the way, don't press Mike Evans. All right. If you can't cover him, don't get up on him. That's stupid. I didn't understand what Detroit was doing at the end of the half there. What are you doing with press coverage on Mike Evans? First off, he's bigger than your guy. I mean, unless you're pressing him with a linebacker, okay, you're not going to get a good jam on Mike Evans. Come on. He's 6'4", 230. I didn't understand it. They played off him the whole first half. They go press coverage on the final drive. Evans tears him up. What are they thinking? And Baker just went to a line of scrimmage and went, really? And just threw the ball to him. Like, I don't know what the play was, but I'm throwing it to 13.
1 minute drive, just down the field, going
boom, boom,
the whole time.
And David, you may be right. He may end up getting paid in somewhere, but I've been listening to Roy all year, and JP even said it, that they believe, and they're in Tampa, and maybe that's where they're jaded with their philosophy, that they just think he's going to stay because of the community. But I do think this Baker Evans thing was real.
I totally agree with that, because him and Tom did not connect. Okay, Baker will hold on to the ball longer than Tom did, and Evans is like Devontae Adams. He needs a little longer to run his routes. He's not a Cooper Kupp quick twitch wide receiver. He's running longer intermediate or longer routes. He needs a little more time. Baker will wait for Evans. Tom wouldn't.
Yeah, Tom liked Godwin a lot more.
Well, yeah.
And Evans, you look back early in the year, Evans dropped that bomb from Brady when he did hang on to it. And he dropped that perfect ball. And
I just was watching the game yesterday, and I was remembering how Chris Godwin's production has just changed a ton because of the style of quarterback he's playing with.
Yes. Yeah. Brady wanted to, and Godwin could get open more quickly.
And obviously Gronk was there too. So the deep ball wasn't a huge part of that Bucs team.
But I actually think they're going to lose Evans. I think they'll keep Baker. It is interesting what people want Baker to, quote, settle for. All right. Remember, you're Baker Mayfield. 6 teams or 4 teams you played with, 8 head coaches. This is your chance. This could be your last chance, by the way, to get a contract. Your first and last chance to get a contract like this. How much less are you going to take? Mark, here's where I think the Bucs need to thread the needle. Fully guarantee the deal. Offer them less, but don't, like the Daniel Jones contract with the Giants, which is just a nightmare for 10 teams in this league. The Giants are paying him $40 a year. Well, but only like half of it's really guaranteed. So what I would do if I'm the Bucs is I'd look at Baker and go, listen, we're not going to do one of these deals 4 or 5 years where really only the first 2 are guaranteed. How about we do a deal where I guarantee the whole damn thing? We'll do a Kirk Cousins contract, but I got to pay you less.
Like 3 for 105.
How about 4 for $1.25?
I think he would take either one of those. Just because of the security of it.
So 3 for 105 is 35 per.
Right.
That's Geno Smith money. By the way, credit the Seahawks. When they signed Geno before last season, they signed him to a 3-year deal. I think it was 3 for 105. But only the first year and a half was guaranteed. So the Seattle positioned it so that if Geno didn't have a good year this past year, they could really move off of him in 2024 if they wanted. They'd have to eat like $17 million, but they could if they really wanted to.
And they might.
Who knows? But I like your 3 for 105, and you'll fully guarantee that.
Fully guarantee that.
You'd sign it.
Let me ask you guys this. Who is, because I think this is a real question. Maybe you guys disagree. Who's the hotter quarterback on the market? Cousins or Baker?
Cousins.
Coming off that Achilles injury at his age?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just better.
For 1 year.
But he's just better.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm thinking for an Atlanta, and you're maybe trying to build for the future somewhat. You're not necessarily.
Very quickly for the next 3 years, because Cousins is 35, so
Right.
he's got 3 years. You can do a 3-year deal with Cousins or Baker. Who would you sign?
I would take Kirk.
Now, Kirk will probably cost you more.
Right. And I guess situationally, some teams might go Baker.
But Kirk's also hinting that, at least with Minnesota, he didn't hint it, he said it out loud. And there's a thought that he'd do it for Atlanta because his wife's family's from Marietta. All right. Or Alpharetta. I'm sorry. I think it's Alpharetta. Right.
I've been drunk in both cities. They're both fine little communities, David. I prefer Alpharetta to Marietta, but either way, you're fine.
You'd settle in either one, is what you're saying, at least for the night at a bed and breakfast?
I don't know if Raptors is still in Alpharetta, but I was a big fan back in the day. Mike Ken was the owner of that bar for the Raptors.
Ah, yes.
Mark with the inside track on the Georgia bar scene.
Longtime left tackle for the Falcons.
Right.
A Ring of Honor guy, not a Hall of Fame guy. Okay, the difference between being a legend for the team, but not a Hall of Famer.
And some thought he might have a shot with the Veterans Committee.
Yes.
When that happened, but
probably not.
No.
Probably not. But so, I mean, let's face it, they got to keep Baker. I mean, they have to.
Yes.
Levante will stay. Levante is the Bucs equivalent to Stamkos. Stamkos is a better hockey player than Levante is football, but you know what we're getting at. So, all right, enough with the Bucs. Let's talk a little college football. Matt Baker, Tampa Bay Times, next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
But we think that's the way Tampa has to go, because then also they could play the whole Florida tax thing. They could look at them and go, listen, we're going to fully guarantee this, and there are no state taxes.
Did you guys happen to see, I'm sure you didn't see this, but Amon-Ra St. Brown's touchdown dance was
Bakers.
It was move for move Bakers from a couple of years ago. Like they synced it up, and it's the same exact dance.
Yeah, it was Bakers in Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone said, I don't think he's even trolling him. This is just he knows it's a good dance and he wanted to do it.
I love the fact they put the time in, to do the research and what have you, and obviously practice it. I love that. I think it's cool. I think it's a compliment.
It is. I mean, it's more of a flattering thing that because it's these guys got to have some fun every now and then.
Man, he's a good player.
I love him.
That is a good player.
I mean, I think he's already become the second best Lions receiver ever. Already. St. Brown. He's right up there because
you think he's better than Herman Moore?
Oh, not yet.
No,
not
yet.
Accomplished, but I'm just like as a player, he's better than Herman Moore. Yes.
You might want to look that one up. Herman Moore caught 120 plus passes like 2 years in a row in the 90s.
Well, yeah. St. Brown had 119 this year, led the league.
I understand in the 90s.
Yeah, with a Barry Sanders. Yeah,
Right. Herman Moore led the league in receiving one year when Barry Sanders was the tailback.
It definitely worked in his favor, though. I'm a huge Herman Moore fan. I have a jersey. I like.
Oh, we know you. We assumed you had a jersey. I mean, come on now.
If they go to the Super Bowl, would you concede or no?
Well, you're still of the age, man. You're 24. You can do anything. We've got nothing for you. You're 24 years old, man. You just go nuts.
Say if the Lions win next week and St. Brown has 8 catches for 100 yards to go to the Super Bowl.
Is he better than Herman Moore?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's really close though. It's really close.
He's been a not to mention, I mean, 4th round pick.
Well,
he's just been a home run. He's been awesome.
Well, I will say that the Lions have shown the benefit of not missing on picks, whether a guy turns out to be great or not. Like Sewell's a great player. Okay. But I mean, Ragnow, what, 2nd round pick? Laporta, 2nd round pick. I mean, they're not solid players.
Yeah.
I mean, and then if they turn out to be better than that,
Hutch, because I don't think Hutch will ever be a great player, but he's going to be a really solid player for 8-10 years in the league.
Yeah, but if he gives you, like Mark says, if he gives you 8 to 10 years of 10 sacks a year, he's never going to be TJ Watt. But by the way, did you see the Packers just run right at Chase Young? Where's Chase Young? That's where we're running. They ran, wide receivers were blocking Chase Young. That's how bad against the run Chase Young is.
Too.
Chase Young plays so high. He is so easy to block. Oh, my God. Keep that in mind Sunday, Trent. If you see Chase Young on the field.
Baker.
Oh, yeah.
The
Lions will run right at Chase Young Sunday. Right at him.
Yeah. Well, okay. They didn't even try to run the ball against Tampa, and that made me really nervous. I mean, the amount of times they threw on 1st down was working because, like, they get the ball out really quick. We're coming back here. But Matt is ready to go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes left along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits at the top of the hour for the 239. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Our poll question, do you like the rule where if you fumble it through or out of the end zone, it's loss of possession and a touchback to the other team? Yes or no? We're not asking you to fix it, change it. Just yes or no, do you like the rule? And it's been pretty close to 50-50 all day. So I'm a hell no. I hate the rule. I think it's the worst rule in the league. But that's our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Florida Sports Network.com. Matt Baker covers college football for a living. He does so for the Tampa Bay Times. You can follow Matt on Twix, Twitter/X at MBakerTBTimes, MBakerTBTimes. Matt, it's David and Mark. It's been a while. How are you?
I can't complain. Hope you guys are doing well too.
We are. We called you when we heard the news late Friday. The NCAA investing the Gators football program. What's going on?
Well, I don't know a whole heck of a lot more than that. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to put two and two together. But they announced, or the NCAA sent what's called a notice of inquiry, basically a letter to the school president on June 9th saying, hey, we're investigating your football program. And then there's 4 pages of legalese that doesn't tell us anything at all. So it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to take that part of it and combine it to everything that happened in the preceding months involving Jaden Rashada and the most high-profile NIL case, bungling situation, whatever you want to call it, that we've seen in this couple years that this space has been operating. So the NCAA is looking into this. The Gators are cooperating, is what they've said, and again, cooperating, which means that this remains ongoing. It's not like this thing is over. And then we'll just kind of have to see where the chips fall whenever this is done, which is probably not going to be anytime soon, would be my guess.
And Matt, from my understanding, this is about the Gator Collective, and the Gator Collective doesn't exist anymore. Does that present further problems for the NCAA trying to investigate this?
Potentially, because it depends on who agrees to cooperate, right? So, the University of Florida employees, the Gators employees, all that wing, presumably they're going to cooperate because they're supposed to, and if not, they could get in trouble. But when it comes to kind of outside people, are there any former employees who would be involved? The third-party Gator Collective doesn't exist. With the people who worked there at the time, would they want to cooperate? Jaden Rashada, presuming he's the person involved, does he want to cooperate? Presumably he would, because he's somewhere else now. So that the cooperation aspect is absolutely going to be a component to this in terms of what you can find, but it's also perfectly possible and plausible that there's enough evidence one way or the other based on what the school and the player and his parents or whatever can provide to give a weigh in on this, even if other people don't agree to help out.
Matt, why? I mean, this was 14 months ago. It's a player who ended up not going to Florida, but going to Arizona State. The collective in question no longer exists. Hell, the NIL rules have changed since this debacle. I mean, why would the NCAA even waste time with this?
I guess I would argue, why would they not? I mean, let's assume kind of take some of the facts as we know them at face value here. In which case, the Gator Collective, and there was an eight-figure deal.
Right, that's true.
The outside collective and this blue chip recruit to come play for the Gators. Now, we'll see what the facts are when all this is sorted out. But if you're going to have rules saying that this cannot be a recruiting inducement, and you're going to take the most high-profile one that we have seen in this space, with all sorts of questions around it, some reporting around it, good reporting by The Athletic and others, and say, you know what, we don't really care. Then what are we doing here? That would be the argument that I make, is if we're not going to look into this as the NCAA, if we're not looking into this case, then why are we looking into anything? Why do we exist? Why are there rules? Why not make it all completely legal? Which is a completely different conversation that we could have. But if there are rules, then they probably should be enforced, and they probably should be investigated before that can happen.
Florida State under a little bit of an investigation, Florida under investigation. If you're a college football program right now in new NIL circles, wouldn't you be a little nervous, Matt?
Yeah, you should be, at least to some degree. Now, there's, Yahoo's Ross Dellinger said that basically there's a bunch of schools that have been under investigation, some ongoing, some with no charges, that sort of thing. So it's not like these are the only two schools. In Miami, too, they got in trouble with, I think it was the women's basketball issue. So there are a couple cases of this happening, but by and large, if you take the noise, if you take the stuff that I hear on a regular basis from people griping, oh, they're cheating, this, that, and the other, if you look at what's actually happened so far, there hasn't been a whole lot of there in terms of NCAA enforcement. Now, the other part of this is we have to remember that the wheels of justice, such as they are with the NCAA, move at a glacial pace. They make glaciers look like cheetahs, is how quickly. You mentioned the Florida State issue. That was 21 months from when the violation occurred. It was April of 22, if I remember right. And then it was finally adjudicated, a month ago, a couple weeks ago. So it was 21 months is how long it took. So if we're trying to think how long might this take with the Gators, well, if the facts are as we know them, then we're still probably 9 months, a year away from having a resolution, unless there's something specific to this or specific to the other case. But that gives you an idea, at least, of how long this whole process can take.
He's Matt Baker, covers college football for the Tampa Bay Times. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at MBakerTVTimes, MBakerTVTimes. Charlie Baker calls you up and he says, hey, what are the 2 or 3 things, if you were me, that I should do? Because, Matt, the time frame, the calendar here seems to be the biggest mess of all. Early signing period with bowl games, with then the transfer portal, and then if a coach leaves, it opens up a new 30-day window. My big thing is the calendar. What's your big thing?
My big thing is the employment status, or whatever you want to call it, in terms of paying players, because that's some ways it's an existential issue with the NCAA. That has to get resolved. Are players employees or are they not? And if they are, how does that work? If they're not, how does that work? Because this system isn't working. It's just not. Where we're talking about, the Gators being investigated over an 8-figure deal that the University of Florida did not make. Somebody else made, and the Gators may or may not have been involved in it. That's for the NCAA to decide. But it's all because there's money available. There are people who want to play college football players to play college football, but they don't have a way to make it happen. So that's the first thing that has to get situated. How does this work? How can players get a piece of the pie in a way that complies with Title IX, that makes sense for everybody? That's the first thing. And then the second thing, you're right. The calendar is ridiculous. It makes zero sense. I don't have a lot of great solutions. I think the easiest one is to change the early signing day. Either push it back to February when it typically has been, or push it forward to August, or make it so. Here's an idea. If I offer you a scholarship anytime starting January 1st of your junior year, you could, there's a 48-hour cooling off period, and then you can sign with me right then and there. So there's ways to make this work and at least alleviate part of it. But like the transfer portal, just the way calendars are with academics, I don't know that you can change that a lot. But you can change the early signing day and move that around to at least help it out a tiny bit.
Would you make them employees, Matt? That at the beginning of this, where we started, are they employees? Are they not employees? What would you do?
I think independent contractors might be the best way to do it, because that kind of splits the baby a little bit. But look, I don't know how you can really argue. If you look at what happens at most schools, they pretty much are employees. They just don't get all the benefits they're in, right? Where, schools or a lot of schools kind of cluster athletes into certain majors. They spend a lot of their time there. They're encouraged to spend a lot of their time there. They have specific rules that are different to everybody else on campus in terms of what you can and cannot do. Golly, that sounds a lot like what an employer would have. And in some cases, they are getting paid a little bit in terms of the cost of attendance stipend and that sort of thing. So in a lot of ways, they already are employees. There's just not that tag on them. And I think we need to figure out as an industry, what happens if you put that tag on it? Is there a way to not put that tag on and then still allow them to get paid? Because so many of the issues facing the sport with the portal and NIL is because college football and College Sports Inc. decided a while ago, we're going to outsource payment. We're not going to pay the players directly. We're going to have these middlemen do it. Most industries, that doesn't make any sense at all. So what are we doing here? And whether they're employees or not, I'm not smart enough to figure out all the employment law and all the things that entails. But I think we need to have intelligent, honest conversations about if that happens, then what? If it doesn't happen, then what? How can we make sure that the Olympic sports are safe, right? Are there ways to raise more money there? We need to acknowledge that football, and to a lesser degree men's basketball, they're different than everybody else. So let's treat them differently because they have a different student experience. They have a different athletic experience. There's a different financial experience. It's all different. So let's keep pretending that these are all apples. When we got apples, we got oranges, we got pineapples, we got tangerines. Let's acknowledge it.
Matt, we're always appreciative of your time and your insight. Continue great work for the Tampa Bay Times. Hopefully we can talk again in the spring.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Matt Baker. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at MBakerTBTimes, MBakerTBTimes. You and I, very quickly, to put this one to bed, you and I think they're employees.
They are employees.
Right. That's the solution we see. That's where we're going to get to, and the sooner we can get to it, the sooner we can clean this up.
Then they're going to unionize.
There's
then they're
no
going to
doubt.
collectively bargain.
Right. And then, quite frankly, they're going to have to decide, are we going to be baseball, which is the major sport without a cap, or are we going to cap? I don't think that the sport will ever agree to a cap because I don't think conferences will agree to play by the same rules. I don't think the major schools in the conferences will agree to play by the same rules. It's like, why should I play by the same cap as the Indiana Hoosiers when I'm Ohio State? So I think that college football can turn the athletes into employees, but they're going to be baseball, Mark. We're going to have big market, small market.
And I think the other thing that could happen is we already have two conferences that are ruling that they could just break away with football. I still think that option's on the table to alleviate any Title IX problems that are there, David.
From a tax standpoint also, I could see them not wanting the kids to be independent contractors, as spoken by a couple of independent contractors, because from a tax standpoint, it's a problem. And we all know, let's face it, some of us don't put enough money aside as adults to pay for our taxes. If you were 18 to 22, 23 years old, you going to put enough money aside to pay your taxes? Getting the kind of money that you're going to be getting to play big time college football and basketball? Oh, sorry, you got to put 30% of that aside for taxes. Yeah, okay. When you're 20? Come on. How many of us would have done it?
Miller and Moulton. 21,000 is the text line. In case you missed any of the show, you can download it at floridasportsnetwork.com or anywhere you download your podcast. They are up very quickly after each hour ends.
So 2 1s and 2 3s. Ravens easily. Niners struggled, but the ones held serve on Saturday. And then the 1-3 seed held serve at home, and the other 3 seed, more heartache in Buffalo.
As Johnny joined the Twitch chat room, said, sorry I'm late. Huge Buffalo hangover here. I think there's going to be a lot of that today from Bills fans across the country as the Mafia delivered a crushing blow yesterday as the Chiefs take them out.
I feel terribly for Bills fans. I really do.
See, now you as the long-suffering Lions fan, now you're starting to get that gene, aren't you? You're starting to feel for other fan bases.
2 years ago, David, not 2 years ago. What am I saying? It was 2018. It was Josh Allen's rookie year. My family loaded up the car and went to see the Lions play the Bills in Buffalo. I loved the fans. They were amazing. Last season, the Lions hosted the Bills on Thanksgiving, talked to all the Bills fans before the game. I love the Bills. Feeling for them.
And we know he's sick and tired of the Chiefs. We got that out of him today.
Yeah.
That's been part of it, is that I root for the Bills in this whole rivalry.
So you're rooting for the Ravens?
Oh, yeah.
Even though...
My Lions, I'd rather have the Lions play the Chiefs.
Right.
For the matchup.
Wait a minute. Are you really thinking that far ahead?
No, I'm not.
You really?
Mark was going to ask me the question anyways. I just jumped the gun.
Please, if the Lions get to the Super Bowl, do you care who they're playing?
No, I don't.
I mean, you'll be unconscious the first week of the Super Bowl period, for goodness sakes.
I'm
Yeah.
unconscious now.
I had to, he was late. He's never late. He beats me here by 10 minutes every morning. I beat him here by 10 minutes this morning. Literally, I got nervous. I'm like, are you close?
Because I had to sleep in Cape Coral. I had to stay at my aunt and uncle's place last
Ah, someone celebrated the victory. Now we're getting to it. The Diamond District bonus hour is next here on Miller and Moulton. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a the best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and Tiki Bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
For what it's worth, my family and friends who listen to the show love the bonus hour because you guys are just playing fast and loose. It's just some of the funniest stuff. Deadstruck asked, would you rather be a Bills fan or a Dolphins fan?
A Bills fan.
I mean, if you're a Dolphins fan, you've got a Super Bowl. Logic Man, good point. They're always fast and loose. David, do you think there is any chance McDermott moves on? Any. I know he wasn't the issue yesterday. I'm just like, it's.
Well, I know somebody who knows him well. If they ever win the Super Bowl, I think he'll retire because he wants to spend time with his family. But I don't think he leaves. Like, I don't think he's asked to leave because they lost in the playoffs. But
No.
I do think if they win the Super Bowl, he's done.
Okay. I just kind of, I would just be interested because, you know, if they did go in a different direction, they'd probably hire an offensive mind to work with Josh, maybe retool the offense a little bit.
Well, they should keep doing what they do. You know, they're going to have an interesting Diggs situation this offseason.
Oh, I think he's gone. I don't think they can reconcile that one. And credit to him for not being a distraction, but I think he's very clearly not happy.
Well, it'd help his cause if he'd catch the ball.
No kidding.
That ball went right through his arms.
What a throw. Holy
What a throw.
blank. That ball's almost 70 yards in the air.
It went right through his arms.
Golly. How are you going to attack this too deep zone? Well, I'm just going to run the bomb and throw it to him. Oh, okay.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this Monday after the divisional playoffs. We are down to 4 in the NFL, 2 1s and 2 3s. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Brought to you by Jason and Todd and the good folks at the Diamond District. So we're trying to gauge people's level of pain in the last few moments of the show, apparently. In our text line, Twitch chat room, and what have you. Because we commented about how it's a tough day in Buffalo. Tough to be a Bills fan. And obviously you got a lot of Dolph fans who are like, yeah, I don't have any sympathy for Bills fans. I hate the Bills. Okay. We had somebody, Mark, who asked the question, who would you rather be, a Bills fan or a Dolph fan? And if you think about it, the Bills, 4 years in a row, they've won playoff games. But only once have they gotten to the AFC Championship game. And the one time they did, they got blown out. So they're good enough to make the playoffs. Hell, they're good enough to win the division. Hell, they're good enough to win playoff games. But what are we doing here? Meanwhile, the Dolphins have had 4 straight winning seasons, and they got nothing to show for it. 2 playoff appearances, 2 losses.
This is such a no-brainer to me. It's a Bills fan, and I know the Bills fan is sick today, and I get it, and I understand why they are sick, and they should be. But I like to play golf. Okay. And in the games in my normal weekly game, we have a team game and we have a skins game. The skin game, the individual game. And you need a birdie to get in the skins game. And we kind of joke around about when you make a birdie, it's like, all right, now I've got a seat at the table. Now I've got a shot to make money. Every time they win a playoff game, it's like a skin to me. You got to
That's
have
a
a seat
birdie.
at the table.
Okay.
You know, in order to get a seat at the table, you got to make some birdies. And the Dolphins haven't made any birdies, David.
23 years.
They've three-putted a lot. They've stared a 10-footer down and knocked it 4 foot past the hole and missed the comebacker. A lot.
What are you, Rory in Dubai? Take it easy there, big fella.
It is a similar flavor of pain that they're going through, though, because the Dolphins have, like you guys have talked about it for weeks now, they have been good. 4 straight years making the playoffs, nothing to show for it. Bills, you could almost argue, same kind of deal. They win playoff games, but they have nothing to show for it by their standards. They're obsessed with beating the Chiefs. Every offseason we hear about it. They're always up there in Super Bowl odds, and they just can't do it.
Allen played so well.
Man,
And it was right there. You get a break at the end thanks to David's favorite rule, and you just can't capitalize.
2 big drops in the fourth. 2 big drops in the fourth.
Allen was really good. Really good. I mean, it's not often Patrick Mahomes is on the field and playing well, and you're unsure if he's the best quarterback in the game. I mean, Josh Allen was tremendous. He was a one-man show against Kansas City. But you also have to begin to wonder, I mean, you know, how many more times they'll have Josh Allen, but how much longer are they going to have the supporting cast around Josh Allen? I mean, how much longer is this core staying together before they got to put a different core around them? And obviously that affects the Dolphins. And next year, if healthy, the Jets. But Mark, we had, remember for the longest time until the few years ago when the Braves finally won the World Series, it was the Marlins-Braves argument. Who would you rather be? You know, the Braves who went to the playoffs so many times, and the Marlins who went twice up until a few years ago, up until the pandemic year. And the Marlins had gone twice. Both times they went, they won. They had a parade. And the Braves went all those times and only won it once. Who would you rather be? And the Bills are, you know, like the Niners. Niners fans like, it's 4th time in 5 years. We're in the NFC Championship game. Yeah, we haven't won a Super Bowl in almost 30 years, guys. Harbaugh went to 3 in a row also. Kyle's gone to 4 in 5 years. This is, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I like this. You know, this beats the Singletary years. This beats the Jim Tom Sula year. This really does. But we're going to have a parade?
You know, it must be, I don't know if it's the NFL bias, but you know, you point out those things. We don't think of San Francisco in terms of the elite franchise that they are.
Do you know how many NFC Championship games they played in? I think this will be their 18th.
And we don't think of them that way because all we talk about in the NFC is the stupid Cowboys.
I mean, they played in 2 in the early 70s, the John Brody Niners teams. But, you know, start with Montana, the 81 team, the 83 team, the 84 team, the 88 team, the 89 team, the 90 team. And then, you know, okay, they started lining up and playing the Cowboys in NFC Championship games. 3 in a row. Boom, boom, boom. Loss, W. You know, then Steve Mariucci got his little NFC Championship game appearance when Terrell Owens caught that ball at the goal line against the Packers. Oh, okay. That was nice. And then Harbaugh went to 3, and now this is 4 for Kyle. I mean, Mark, this is their 7th NFC Championship game in the last 12 seasons.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Especially,
it's also 6 in a row for the Chiefs.
David, especially when you consider it's always been the Shanahan offense and stuff, but there's different iterations of it. They did it with Jimmy G. Now they're doing it with Brock Purdy. They've done it where their defense was the horse. Now their offense is the horse this year.
Oh, Harbaugh did it with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. Switched to Kaepernick midstream.
Yeah, that takes some courage.
That's a very different offense. Alex Smith versus Colin Kaepernick. But yeah, this is their 18th NFC Championship game.
And they're not talked about in the same way that we talk about Patriots, Steelers, and other teams' greatness. We just don't.
Now they've lost a lot of them. And, Mark, how important is it to win the final game of the year? You know, the Chiefs for the longest time were the Bills. You know, you go back the 90s, you know, Marty Schottenheimer, then Gunther Cunningham, Vermeil in the 2000s. I mean, the Chiefs were very rarely bad. The Chiefs oftentimes had 10-win seasons. The Chiefs couldn't win in the playoffs. Chiefs didn't have a quarterback. You know, until Mahomes and Andy started, even Andy's first handful of years with the Chiefs. What did they do? They went to the playoffs. They lost. He got beat at home by Marcus Mariota and the Titans. The Chiefs lost that shootout game with Andrew Luck in Indianapolis when they had, like, with Alex Smith at quarterback, when they had this 3-touchdown lead. And Luck and the Colts came back and beat them like 45-44, something ridiculous. I mean, Andy wasn't winning in Kansas City. He was getting there. He wasn't winning games. And then they traded for this Mahomes guy. And now they've gone to 6 in a row. I mean, even Belichick and Brady are going, oh, it's not bad. I mean, you know, it's not quite what we did, but it's not bad. I got to give it to you. Pretty good, in fact. Pretty good. Call me in a couple years. When you get to 8, call me.
Don't bet against them, whatever you do.
No.
Because the funny thing is this is the worst Chiefs team in that run.
Certainly the worst offense.
And I know they've got some cap issues and things to do, but they're pretty good at kicking the can down the road. Will they be better or worse next year?
My gut, oh boy.
My gut tells me the Chiefs will be better next year.
Wow. They got got a couple of those key defensive guys. I don't know if they can keep. Might have turnover at the offensive tackle position again.
They've had that a ton.
Yeah, I know they have.
On defense, though, they already shored up Chris Jones, and then they've got that McDuffie as a stud, and he's going to be cheap for a while.
Yeah, you're probably right. Pacheco, the young wide receiver.
Yeah, Rice is a rookie. They'll bring in other receivers to make that unit better next year.
Yeah, they'll just shuffle a deck. You know, last year it was Juju. This year it was Valdez-Scantling. They'll go get someone next year, this offseason.
Like Mike Evans, maybe. I digress. So it is interesting, though, to take the next step and, you know, the agony of losing in the playoffs.
And the fan bases. I mean, you know, David, I think I would rather be the Bills fan, and the Dolphin fan is basically emphasizing that to me because they're just going, you see, we can't, as Finn fan says, it's how the Dolphin fan feels. The Dolphins can't get past the Bills. The Bills can't get past the Chiefs. The Dolphins are never winning anything. Now, he finishes it, especially with Tua. But you could have just put the exclamation point after the that's how the fan feels today.
I mean, what's worse? Being one and done or feeling as if you're in the mix every year and losing?
I'd rather be in the mix every year.
I think that's worse. I think it's more painful.
Maybe.
The highs are higher,
but the regular season's a whole hell of a lot better.
It is. And you
all right, Trent. This is tough because it's a hypothetical. Here's the deal. All right. Here is the deal. I'll give you a Lions win Sunday. You don't win the Super Bowl and you don't sniff going to another one for a while, a good while. I'll give you one run or take your chances.
Well, with this group,
I can guarantee that you win Sunday. You're going to the game, which you've never been to. Or, well, good luck. It's the NFL playoffs year after year.
I would 100% roll the dice. If you're telling me we're not winning it, we're just going. I mean, making the NFC Championship game almost feels like as big of a deal for us.
CBS, I don't know who they're rooting for. They want Kansas City to win the one side, but Vegas is rooting for Detroit. The city of Las Vegas is rooting for Detroit. Motown will do a number on Sin City if they take care of the Niners. That much I will guarantee. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
David, you're pretty blessed as a Giants fan, all things considered.
Very.
Because you've had 4?
5 appearances, 4 wins. Also, they're 5-0 in NFC Championship games.
Wow. Okay. That's.
Did either of you happen? I know you didn't watch it. You were working, David. But did you happen to see the stat line on the big 7-footer from Kentucky Saturday night?
No.
That Big Z, the Croatian kid, got his. He finally played. Played like 10 minutes. He was 4-4 from behind the arc. He had like 10 points, 4 assists, 2 blocks. I mean, just played 10 minutes and just lit it up. Literally had people texting me to turn the game on.
Is that the new thing? It's just going to be big Europeans that just run circles around all these athletes? Duke lost to Pitt.
Yeah,
That was a big one.
that was
At Cameron.
at Cameron.
The
And I don't
one kid for Pitt went in there, scored, dropped 30 something, and then went into the student section afterwards and basically gave it back to them.
I love that. You have to, because I don't think they'd beaten them at Cameron since like 1979 or something like that. Or they hadn't beaten Duke on the road, I should say. Again, it feels wide open this year. It's going to be a fun tournament.
Yeah, Syracuse beat Miami, right?
Yes.
Johnny? Yeah, Miami's in big tournament trouble.
Twelve 12-6. 1-3 and no, hold on. What's their conference record? 3-4.
Did I see that right, by the way, that Detroit's lost 15 straight games in San Francisco?
Probably. I would.
Missouri's not any good this year, though, Bourbon. They're not last year's.
Tell you what, when I was lucky enough to do the SEC tournament last year in Nashville, Missouri was probably the biggest surprise. I didn't see myself enjoying watching them play as much as I did. I love Dennis Gates, too.
If I've got this right, Detroit's last win in San Francisco was 1975.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense because they don't play them a ton as it is.
Right.
Plus, it's out in San Fran, and San Francisco's been good. Like we just talked about, they've been good they haven't been bad in a long time.
Detroit did beat them in San Francisco in the playoffs.
When, the 80s or 90s or when?
1957.
God.
That's when they won the title.
Oh, dear Lord. I can't believe we're here. We as in a society, I'm trying to cut back on the we, us.
You know what?
It's impossible.
Right now, Trent, we it up.
I'm trying to cut back on it. All right, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. The Diamond District bonus hour. Thanks so much for being with us. David Sampson, Pat Kerwin on the show tomorrow. Mark, I stand corrected. I think I made it sound last segment as if the Niners with the win against the Packers are going to their 18th NFC Championship game. That actually will be number 19. They've already played in 18.
Okay.
Now, they do have the record. No franchise, NFC or AFC, has appeared in more conference championship games than the Niners. This will be their 19th conference championship game. Steelers are second with 16. Patriots at 15. Cowboys 14. And then there's three other franchises that have been double digits. Rams, Raiders, Broncos. Broncos are very impressive 8-2 in their 10 conference championship game appearances.
Detroit's last win in San Francisco was in 1975.
The Ford administration. That's fitting.
David connecting the dots for everybody.
Detroit's played San Francisco in the playoffs twice. Or in San Francisco twice. They lost in 83 by
Eddie
a
Murray.
point.
Eddie Murray missed the kick. What was it, 24-23?
24-23, David.
Danielson drove him down to the 25-yard line. 42-yarder, I think it was, on the dirt at Candlestick. The dirt infield at Candlestick, and Eddie Murray missed the kick.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was Billy Sims' stat line in that game?
Not much, if I remember right.
Gary's got a couple of funny stories from that game. One of them was he threw a bunch of interceptions in that game, but he led them on 2 fourth-quarter touchdown drives. Gary did. Him and Montana were actually going head to head down the stretch of that game. But Gary threw 2 early interceptions, went to the bench and said, who picked it off? And apparently the Niners had discovered on tape that when the Lions ran a certain play, a certain formation, that they never threw the ball to Sims. So they didn't cover him. So Billy Sims's guy kept leaving and covering, whoever it was that Gary was trying to throw to and kept picking off the pass.
I apologize. Sims did have a big day. 20 for 114, 2 tutties.
Yeah, I just assumed if there was like a
Gary did not have a good day. I have him for 5 picks.
5 picks, but he let them. Fourth quarter, they're trailing. He leads them down the field, touchdown. They take the lead. Then Montana goes on the field, leads them down the field, touchdown. They take the lead. Then Gary drives them down to the 25.
All right, Gary.
But the Lions did win a playoff game in San Francisco, so it can be done. They did so defeating San Francisco 31-27 in 1957.
What round of the playoffs was that? Does it say?
I think that was the playoffs. No, seriously. I mean, that was the old NFL? Didn't like 4 teams make it? Didn't they play at most 2 rounds back in the day?
I think so. It says Western Conference playoff game, so that probably was it. And then they would move to the finals. So there you have it, a little Niners, Lions history.
Tell you what, though, I like the score because I think that's where the score is going to have to get for Detroit if they're going to win Sunday. 31-27 type deal. I think it's going to have to get up there.
I agree with that. Detroit will have to be, and they're going to have to be able to score on San Francisco because I don't think their defense can hold a really good offense to much less than 24 points.
Tell you what, this Deebo Samuel injury is a big deal because we've seen how well the Lions secondary holds up against a good wide receiver.
And they have 2 because Ayuk's no slouch.
Mm-hmm.
But oddly enough, it hasn't bit them. They score points. And when the money's on the table, Goff has been money.
I understand, but you played a 9-win team and a 10-win team so far in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're playing this the heavyweight. I mean, you got to admit, you have fought your way through. You were the number 5 ranked contender. Then you were the number 3 ranked contender. Okay. Now you're the number 1 ranked contender. Right. You ain't played somebody like this before. You ain't fought somebody like this before. You're going to get hit by a punch early in this one in which you're going to go, damn, that hurt.
Oh, I know. I'm just bringing it up. I think it's very, very weird that they continue to just let these wide receivers go nuclear, and somehow they make just enough plays. Baker had a great day. Still threw 2 picks somehow. I don't know how that all works. But
Well, that's. I mean, come on. Jared Goff played clean yesterday. If Baker didn't,
Right.
It's pretty simple. I mean, even though Josh Allen played clean, got away with a fumble that they got back that would have dearly cost them.
That one was. Oh.
By the way, how about the fake punt that didn't hurt him?
So DeMar Hamlin too.
It's 4th and 5, right? And I'll give Jay Feely, by the way, a lot of credit because this is something the Boots should have caught. Jay Feely said he thought it was an automatic by the Bills. You remember, you got to go back 15 years, but remember early the Alabama-Texas national championship game, and Alabama, like mid-first quarter, does a fake punt, and Nick's screaming at the punter, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "It's an automatic. They didn't cover him." Okay, we always run if they do that, we run the fake. And Nick basically said, "Not in the national championship game." And he's like, "Well, coach, it's an automatic. It's what you taught me." Okay. And Jay Feely on the sideline said that the Chiefs only had 10 men on the field. Now, I got to admit, that's something the Boots should get. It is between Sterator and a spotter because I count 11 on both sides before every single snap. The Boots should have had that. But Feely on the sidelines had it. He said the Chiefs only lined up with 10 guys, and he thinks the Bills saw it and ran the fake because of it. They didn't get it. DeMar Hamlin got stopped short. And it comes off looking like a desperation move early fourth quarter. Oh my goodness, we can't punt because our defense sucks and we're going to lose. And it turns out they got the fumble at the goal line and, they got away with it.
And they would have been lambasted.
Right.
Had that fumble not happened.
Right. I mean, McDermott would have had to explain himself. And, at this point, is he throwing a special teams coach under the bus? Is he throwing one of the players who made the call under the bus? Or is he going to fall on the grenade there? But anyway, we'll never know.
But despite Josh Allen playing a terrific game, not enough. Chiefs move on for another AFC Championship game. Mahomes gets his road playoff victory. Jason Kelce had his shirt off in the booth and was doing shots out of a bowling ball in the parking lot before the game.
I love that.
I love him. I absolutely love him. Apparently, one of his daughters was with him, and she said to her mom, "Mom, Dad's boobs are out again." I don't know. There's a lot to be miserable about in this world. I really don't think the Kelceys are a good enough reason to be miserable. I just don't.
No, they're two of the reasons to enjoy the world. They really are.
I don't know. Doesn't suck to be in that inner circle. At least it doesn't seem to.
No, that's a really good inner circle. And seeming to get better every day.
If you're a network, by the way, if Jason Kelce retires, okay, we've talked about this before. Networks are very conservative, very traditional. I mean, Jason Kelce's like new media.
Yeah, he belongs on the Amazon broadcast.
Him and Fitz?
That's where he'd fit in.
With Richard Sherman?
Yep.
Clarissa Thompson just making stuff up as she goes along. There's a pre-halftime and post-game show.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, they let Fitz keep his.
I think the big beard looks far better than the unshaven look that so many of them have. Like they don't, they're 3 days growth, 5 days growth
Right.
all over the place. I'd rather them put the big beard on or shave, but they don't. Facial hair doesn't matter anymore on TV. Bless you. Like anybody that thinks Mike Greenberg looks better with a beard than he does without one is crazy. He's a good-looking dude. He's been on TV forever. He looks terrible with the beard. Doesn't fit his personality at all.
No, it doesn't.
Bless you.
No, I would say to Greeny, shave it. You look. Oh, no. No, I don't think Travis will retire. I know somebody was reporting that yesterday, but no. First off, isn't Travis 2 years younger? Yeah, Yinzer, the problem with Rich Eisen, he falls victim to, when you're unable to grow it up top, you start growing it elsewhere. Remember when Matt Baker kept saying rocket surgeon?
Yes.
Just got a text from somebody who went, "Isn't it rocket scientist?"
That's what I thought.
It is.
It's like, yeah, Mark and I kind of looked at one another and mouthed it to each other during the interview too. But, hey, he's on a roll. Germans bomb Pearl Harbor. Just go with it.
Rocket surgeon.
Rocket surgeon.
He also split the baby. He had a couple in there that were just
and it's early.
I can relate to it. I sometimes you think you have something and you're mixing two things together.
Could you imagine, by the way, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Richard Sherman, and Jason Kelsey? I got to admit, that's inside the NBA. Did you see Barkley over the weekend? Barkley said, "Here's the deal from now on. Any national member of the media who says LeBron's a better player than Jordan, I'm just going to punch him right in the mouth." He goes, "For the rest of my life." He goes, "That's it. I'm tired. I've had enough."
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. The Diamond District bonus hour of Miller and Moulton. Listen, vote for our poll question, because apparently I have a chance to win one. And I never win a poll question. But you know how I feel about the whole fumbling it out of the end zone rule. Hate it. Hate it.
It's stupid. I don't like it.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. That wasn't necessary.
It's too punitive, David says.
Mark, say it in that voice. It's too punitive.
It's too punitive.
Mark's 100% right. And I don't care if I come off sounding like that. I really don't. I don't care if I sound like Mike Greenberg complaining about the Jets. I don't care.
54-46. The yeses are winning right now, David. It is a close vote.
So I'm losing because the question is, do you like the rule, yes or no? So I'm a hell no, damn no, stupidest thing in the league. And so I'm losing. I was winning all show. Close. Now
Like
I'm losing
Luca
close.
says. Luca on Twitter says, worst rule in football. Offense should retain possession at 20-yard line, 10-yard line, 25-yard line. Anything but losing possession. If it goes out of bounds anywhere else on the field, the offense maintains possession.
And let me remind everyone that not only does David Moulton think it's a stupid rule, he thinks you are stupid for approving it.
Yes.
NFL.
Yes, I do. Roger Goodell, it's stupid. And so are you.
I think that was more directed at Rich McKay.
Oh, definitely directed at Rich McKay. Bill Polian, Rich McKay, it's stupid. And so are you. And
It's
I know
time for someone to take back this speech, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
You can keep going because I've got nothing today.
I don't care if I am standing in their audience at Park Avenue. It's a stupid rule. You're fired. Fine.
I'm telling you, this is as little as I've ever had for this segment. Foreman TKO's Frazier in 2 today in 1973.
The famous Howard Cosell, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier. He had never been knocked down before.
And also today in 73, Roe v. Wade. Kind of an important decision in our nation.
Well, it certainly was for 50 years. Yeah.
1984, Super Bowl 18, the LA Raiders destroy the Washington Redskins, 38-9. Marcus Allen, your MVP at the Big Sombrero in Tampa.
That's right. First ever Super Bowl in Tampa. By the way, did you see the other day Jack Squirek died? He was an unsung hero in that game. The two teams had played in the regular season. High-scoring game, like 38-35. Washington won it. Late in the first half, Washington was backed up in their own territory. They ran a screen pass to Joe Washington. He took it like 80 yards inside the 10. Washington scored. Late first half of the Super Bowl, the exact same scenario. Washington's backed up deep in their own end. And Jack Squirek, a backup linebacker, remembered, okay? And he's in the game for Matt Millen, and he picks off the screen pass intended for Joe Washington and goes like 8 yards for the touchdown. And the Redskins at that point were absolutely cooked. Jack Squirek died last week. My bad.
Today in 88, Tyson beat Larry Holmes in 4 rounds. TKO.
In Atlantic City, I believe it trumps Taj Mahal. So Tyson wins the first 2 rounds, and Holmes, old guy, puts a 3rd round together. Larry got up by the balls of his feet, and he starts pumping Tyson with the jab. He gives him one. Remember you talked about Gretzky's shift at the All-Star game in which Wayne showed everybody for 2 minutes? Listen, this is what I was like. Holmes gives Tyson, okay, this is what I used to be like round. And Tyson goes back to the corner like, oh, wow, yeah. Knocks him out in the next round.
Today in 89, Super Bowl 23, the Niners beat Cincinnati 20-16. Jerry Rice is your MVP, and after winning, Bill Walsh retires.
Regretted it to his dying day. He said afterwards he needed a vacation. He just needed a month or 2 away. He regretted it he basically, it was Favre. Remember, Favre retires, and by May is like, what am I doing? I don't want to retire. Okay, well, the same thing with Walsh, and they had already moved on to Seifert in the draft.
And today in 2006, Kobe scores 81 against Toronto. Only Wilt has scored more. Sam Cooke, Bill Bixby, he was the Incredible Hulk, Mike Bossy and Michael Hutchins were all born today. Journey singer Steve Perry is 75. DJ Jazzy Jeff is 59. And Guy Fieri is 56.
I'm glad that you still credit, Steve Perry as the Journey singer, because they've moved on from him, and they've done 40 years basically without him. And to me, the band ended in '85.
Correct.
They have, do you know, like their current singer is basically a vocal impersonator of
Yes.
Steve Perry, and he sounds great.
I understand that.
Because Steve Perry sounds great. That's why.
I understand that. It was just one of those things that I don't like.
Oh, I hear you. Totally.
Heath Ledger died today in 2008. That's what I have.
Like I said, not much happened today, David.
And LBJ, former president. Okay, not to be confused with LeBron James. Lyndon Baines Johnson died on this day in 1973.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
It happened on Saturday, but it's been a while, so when these things happen, Nervous Nellies on Fort Myers Beach reopened on Saturday. After a year of recovery since Hurricane Ian, they had their reopening. 40 employees back to business. So good for them. Congratulations.
Outstanding. I'll be back in like 5 weeks. Maybe I'll give him some money.
You love the beach too.
Yeah. That's
you
painful.
love Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah, we lived 15 minutes away. We spent a lot of time. A lot of my daughter's childhood was spent at the beach.
We went to Washington State for the bad, where a contractor was doing some work on a bathroom in a home and made a surprising discovery inside the wall. There was a grenade in the wall. He took his phone, recorded it, and said it's an actual grenade. Seattle police sent their bomb squad out to the home and confirmed it was a grenade, but it wasn't active, fortunately, for everybody involved, including that wall. For the ugly, we go to JFK Airport in New York, where Zachary Scott, who is a U.S. citizen who lives in Ghana, was arrested Friday trying to smuggle cocaine inside of bags of jumbo shrimp. He had 40 pounds of Peruvian marching powder inside of bags of jumbo shrimp. Seems like he picked the wrong item. That's a lot of weight. What do you got there? Shrimp. But they're jumbos.
So that's why they're so heavy. No?
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, January the 22nd, 2024.
So if you were scheduling college basketball today, wouldn't you have a big day today?
Huge.
It's kind of the time of year. It's like, okay, the
Monday, David.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really light day at college hoops. There's 2 ranked teams in action. They're both at home, Kansas and Carolina. Kansas is hosting Cincinnati, and Kansas lost over the weekend at West Virginia, by the way. Carolina hosting Wake Forest. Wake's a bubble team. Carolina's in line for a 1 seed. Did you see the news that Jay Williams made last week? He was doing a game with Boog Shambi on ESPN, and their game's mid-second half, and it's just kind of getting out of hand. And so they headed the break talking about, if the transfer portal was around when you played. And so Boog said, listen, you played obviously for Coach K and what have you, but say he retired while you played. Where would you have gone? And he said, well, I would have played for John Thompson. In my day, I would have played for John Thompson. And okay, what about today? And there's 8 seconds of silence. And finally, they go to the 2-shot of Boog and Jay Williams. And Boog goes, well, what are you thinking? And he goes, well, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for saying this. And Boog goes, are you going to say North Carolina? And Jay just yells out, I love the way they play. I'd love to play in that offense. Then as the broadcast continues, Jay's like, I don't think they're going to invite me back. You just got me in a lot of trouble. 8 games in the NBA tonight. Magic are home for Cleveland. Magic are underdogs. It's only a 1.5. They just beat the Heat last night. Second of back-to-backs. But they're a home dog against the Cavs. Interesting. And NHL, Panthers are in Nashville.
And they don't lose anymore. Panthers are rolling right now.
Okay, right now, today, the way teams are playing, $20. Who comes out of the East?
Panthers.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Panthers. I don't. There's no. I mean, the Bruins are playing great, but the Panthers are playing better right now.
The only question I have with the Panthers is Bob. He can be he's like Mike Evans. Mike Evans, a Hall of Famer who can have cement hands at the worst time. So can Bob. Bob's won the Vezina twice, took a team to the finals, and Bob can have a bad week out of nowhere.
If it comes down to it, though, the Panthers do have the Bruins number recent history. Bruins don't want to play the Panthers. Are you kidding me?
Vegas taking on the Devils, another good game tonight in the NHL, and Winnipeg taking on Boston. Actually, pretty good night NHL hockey. Those are all good games. Division leaders in Winnipeg and Boston. Panthers in Nashville, pretty good game. So pretty good hockey night tonight.
Very good hockey night tonight. Bad college hoop night, which is not a good job by college hoops.
We got any bowl games?
Down to 3 football games, baby. Okay, the whole Pro Bowl thing, it's not even a game anymore. It doesn't count.
No, it does not.
I love how Pat Kerwin calls it dodgeball. He's like, I don't count the dodgeball.
We didn't count it when they were still playing an actual football game.
I don't think anyone did, unless you're a psycho.
The amount of people that watched it, they did.
The running joke in amongst ESPN is behind the scenes was like, "Hey, Joe, Troy, you guys doing the Pro Bowl?" Ha 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 ha. That's my Troy impression, by the way.
It's good.
Okay.
And you were probably lobbying for them to do it. Say, Troy, I've got you.
No, I don't.
It's a short drive to Orlando. I'll get paid to work that game.
Well, that's true. Come to think of it, but maybe I should have actually pressed.
Yeah,
a little more.
But it's like grandkid to Disney.
Yeah, but it's like a multi-day thing.
Could have taken that grandkid to Disney.
She's 2. No. You can't start this early. Come on now. No, I don't think you should take the kid to Disney before kindergarten. Honestly, they're not going to remember it. You're wasting your time and money.
You really are.
And it's a lot of it.
All you're doing it for is the picture. And I mean, my daughter, we went now she has no desire to go to any of those theme parks. They're not in her.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Doesn't have the Disney bug at all. Could not care less.
That's awesome.
But she was into Frozen, and we took her, and she got her picture with Elsa, and she was awestruck. She doesn't remember any of it. Not a bit, not a thing.
Wow. I didn't think you could love your daughter anymore, but she doesn't want to go to Disney. Oh,
Just get her to listen to Led Zeppelin, David. We're halfway home.
Well,
I just keep working on it on a daily basis.
All you're playing in the car, she doesn't have any choice.
Just time to ramble on, honey. Just time to ramble on every day.
David Sampson, Pat Kerwin tomorrow. And, we got to start talking about other sports beginning tomorrow. We do. Yes, I'm just letting everybody know right now. We are going to talk about other sports besides football beginning tomorrow.
Spring football?
The United Football League, baby. Kicking off in about 9 weeks.
Oh, they're showing the ads. Don't kid yourself.
Hey, we can start talking about the draft.
Yes, we can. And free agency. And you know what, Trent? We will.
We will.
Never mind the fact that, this week, some coaches will probably get hired and fired. This should be make it happen week. By the way, could the Falcons interview anybody else for their job? My goodness. Man, oh man.
Yeah, they are leaving no stone unturned.
I think they're interviewing Ditka tonight.
Marvin Lewis. Call him up.
Belichick sitting there going, really? Yeah. I'm competing with these guys. Are you absolutely kidding me right now?
You're giving the Carolina defensive coordinator a second interview? Seriously? Unbelievable.
I could do 17 minutes on a long snapper. I don't need you to interview another defensive coordinator.
I know last year sucked, but did it suck that much? Miller and Moulton. See you tomorrow.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust.